here. We're all here for the pre-show.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it is I, your James Introcaso, your game master, your him. And I am here with the whole crew to talk to you a little bit about the Kickstarter for the Zweihander starter set before we get rolling into the final portion of our game. And Rudy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh.
Tell people about that sweet, sweet link.
Oh, yes. Hello, my name is Rudy Basso. My pronouns are he, him. That sweet, sweet link is kickstarter.zweihander.game or zweihander.kickstarter.game, which I am now pasting in the chat of the stream. Bam. Control V, Control V, Control V. Here they are. Multiple pastes. Good job, future Rudy. So, yeah, head there now. I'm sure it is barreling through stretch goals. Right, James?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we obviously pre-recorded this one a little early. I am in California right now.
Whoa.
Very strange. But
the OC?
I'm in the OC. In the OC. I'm a real visitor, real houseboy of the OC.
That's something very different. That's very different.
You're just making up stuff now, James? Also, California looks a lot like your office.
Well, no, I will be in California at the time of now, but at the time of airing, I'll be in
It's that Hollywood magic.
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood
magic.
Yeah. What if James turned around right now and put his hand through the bookcase?
And it was like, whoa.
Whoa.
So yeah, but that's what's going on. So at the time of recording, we've already got $49,250 in these Zweihander starter set. Stretch goals are being destroyed, demolished, and I'm sure it's even higher. So go check it out. Go check that link that Rudy spammed earlier. And let's quickly go around. We won't introduce our characters yet, but let's introduce ourselves. Sean, let's start with you. Let people know who you are, what you do in the RPG world, and what your experience with Zweihander was before this stream.
Hi, I'm Sean Banerjee. My pronouns are they, them. I do a bunch of stuff in the RPG world, mostly designing and project management and editing things. And occasionally I show up on the internet and make a fool of myself, which I thoroughly enjoy doing. And my experience with Zweihander before this was having heard the name. I had heard the name, and that's it. Yep.
Well, there you go. Excellent. And now you're fully fledged rules lawyer, Zweihander style. It's great. Yep. TK, tell us about you and your experience with Zweihander.
Hello. It's me. It's TK. Pronouns they, them. And I write spooky stories on the internet. You can read them. Just Google them. They'll probably show up. I don't know. We'll see. My previous experience with Zweihander, I've played Zweihander a couple times. Never remember how to play it again. That's me. That's my brain.
Excellent.
I also wrote on Flames of Freedom with James.
Woo. Yes.
James, you looked surprised when I said that for a second. Like, God, that was years ago.
It does feel like it was years ago, even though I think it really just came out a couple months ago, right?
It did. Actually, we did write on it like 2 years ago. Like summer of 2020.
It was at the beginning of this blur of the pandemic.
Nightmare.
Time is a flat circle now. We don't have to think about months or years anymore.
Pandemic 1.0.
Yes.
Luckily, we've patched since then.
We have, sort of. So Diana, why don't you take us out of this conversation and tell us about you and your experience with Zweihander?
Boy, so I'm supposed to be the uplifting note here.
Yes.
Okay, so hi, I'm Diana, she, her. I do dice things in the TTRPG space. I'm the partnership manager over at Die Hard Dice. I am the reluctant participant in a lot of the Bard and Barbarian stuff that you see online, including a review of the Zweihander starter kit this morning.
Thank you.
Reluctantly.
I'm sorry. Listen, I was hauling that stream by myself. And storyteller for all things vampire over on Play Renegades channel. And that's me. That's what I do. I had zero experience with Zweihander before this, other than being proud witness to Daniel's impassioned Twitter rants. So
yes,
this
yes.
was a fresh experience for me. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. So, as two newbies, Sean and Diana, what are you thinking of Zweihander so far?
I said this morning, and it remains true now. This is the most fun I've had picking up a new system.
Oh wow!
Since the World of Darkness came into my life, so
Holy moly!
I like will recommend it to literally anyone who is wanting that sort of maybe heavier than D&D experience, where you aren't all necessarily heroes and you aren't guaranteed to save the day, and maybe you want something that's a little more grounded in reality. I will wholeheartedly recommend this.
Excellent. Wow, that's great. Thank you.
I think it's awful.
Oh,
cut off his mic.
Edit point.
Get off your mic. Sorry, their mic.
Can I
Their
get
mic.
Sean's money? Can you forward that to my house?
Wait, money? No.
You guys are getting paid? No.
So when James asked me to come play this, I was like, oh well, he says I don't need to know anything. Obviously, I'm gonna have to go look stuff up because I'm not looking and looking like an idiot. And I was very intimidated by the size of the compendium, right? And then James had sent over the character sheets, and I was like, this is a lot going on here. There's multiple tracks, and I have an eye patch, which I haven't mentioned, I don't think, in 4 streams. So it was intimidating, like not in the sense, like I was like, I'm sure I'll get there. I trust James, and I trust my fellow players. So I wasn't worried about looking too dumb, but because I don't mind looking dumb. And in the time that we've played it, it's been so accessible. It's been incredibly easy to pick up, and maybe that's because James has been amazing at like.
Nope.
Oh, okay. It's definitely not because James has been amazing at coaching us along on the mechanics as we go. But
in spite of James.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how good it is.
It's so good that even James Introcaso can't ruin it. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that the setting is really cool. I think the mechanics are refreshing and interesting, without being so far of a departure from other RPGs you might have played that it's going to take you a master's degree to figure out how to do it. That's my endorsement.
I definitely agree. When you see that character sheet, it can be intimidating at first because there's a lot going there. But it just speaks to the system, because once you understand what is going on, it's like, oh, I know what this is. I know what this is. I know what this is. It's a very layered game, and it seems like there's a lot going on at first, but a lot of these kind of subsystems act individually. So once you know what these are, going through this character sheet is so easy and so obvious.
And the mechanics are not totally unfamiliar. Like, it's all, if you've played other RPGs, it's all going to make perfect sense to you. It's just like, it takes the best parts of so many other systems and pushes them together. It takes a minute to figure out where everything came from. So I'm not gonna lie, I definitely appreciate having like a pre-made character sheet the first time going through this, because it is a little bit easier for me to digest than having to like do all the math myself. But it's looking at it, it makes a lot more sense now, even after we've sat here for a couple of hours and played the game.
Good.
I really love the AP system too, and how player facing it is, in that you determine whether you're going to get hit. You know what I mean? It's not like the DM rolls and hits you and that's it. It beats your armor class, blah, blah, blah. For this, it's like, okay, whether you get hit is still reliant on your character and how good you are at a specific thing. I think that's really unique and really cool, and kind of takes away that RNG of being attacked by a random creature.
I would say that this is probably also an RPG that I would put on my list of games to use with people who haven't played RPGs before. I think the setting's interesting. If you have a group that's looking for that, like grim and perilous, a little bit darker, I think that obviously the system is designed for that, but I think it is accessible enough that I can have my friends sitting down and playing with me within 15 minutes of starting, right? As long as you have a knowledgeable game master.
there's a really great, I believe it's on the Kickstarter page of like touchstones from which with
I thought you were
Zweihander
gonna say,
draws
I know a
from.
really great game master
Oh.
and recommend someone other than Jay.
Oh no!
I
would
mean,
never
we do
say
know many
that.
great game masters.
That's true.
Many of them are right here,
Oh.
playing this game.
But
Everyone
Yeah,
except
I-
one person.
That was tricky. That was the
Oh.
tricky thing of you
I
to
fucking
do.
knew it.
But I totally agree, Sean, that you can show people this and be like, do you want to play a game that's like one of these things? Because this is not your high fantasy Dungeons and Dragons game. This is very different and
No.
very, as Diana said, it's very much grounded in reality, and at the same time, it's still very spooky. And I mean, that's a great pivot point. What do you all think of The Secret of Swanzi so far? We haven't finished it, but
I think there are a lot of secrets in Swanzi.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
I think this is a good.
spooky.
I think this is a good system for a lot of like more political drama too.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
definitely.
Anybody who knows me or has like played even one game or watched even one game with me knows that sending and message
Oh,
are
I
the
love 'em.
bane of my fucking
Oh.
existence.
Those are
Not
Pathfinder
banishment.
trolls.
Those and like anything there, it's like detect thoughts. I'm like, ooh yeah, I'm gonna run a political drama. And it's like, okay, that guy seems sketch. I want to detect thoughts on him, and I'm just like, fucking fine, I guess.
Zone of
A
truth.
zone of truth.
Zone of truth. The only reason to use zone of truth is to find out who somebody's crush is. Everyone knows that. If you use
TK,
it for
I think
any
I
other
need to play
reason,
in your
you're a
games because
demon.
I will never use message or sending, but I'm always interested in who someone wants to smooch.
Yes,
that is like
I
top
only
tier
want to
info.
hear your crushes. Zone of truth. Get out of
Important.
here. But it's very like, I think that when you play something like D&D 5e, especially, it's very easy to, like, when you're playing it for the first time, look at what a party makeup is typically and be like, that's the person that's going to hit really hard. That's the
Yeah.
person who's going to do all the talking. That's the person who's going to do all this. Whereas with the skill-based system in Zweihander, it's less easy when you're like given a handful of different pre-generated characters to look at them and be like, I want that one because that one sounds tanky, or I want that one because that one sounds roguey. I took Highwayman I didn't, like, you sent the pre-gens to me and I just looked at the names. I didn't open them, and I'm gonna just own that right
same.
now.
Yeah,
I did not open a single
I
one.
thought that's what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, Highwayman, I was like, that sounds like somebody who shoots people, and only to only to get into playing it more and look at the skills and stuff and be like, this is a face. Like, who goes into a Highwayman and is like, I'm the face and also a wanted criminal?
That's why I chose barber surgeon. Like multiple talents.
Yeah, for sure. I very much like almost all of the skills that are on the pre-gen are what I would consider to be more of a rake character, and knowing that I can be surprised by a pre-gen is very exciting for me. Knowing that I can be surprised, and like, because you see a list of who you can choose, you're like, the fighter, they fight.
Right.
Yeah.
No question about what they're doing.
Like, they fight, they got one thing,
Mhm.
and they do that one thing. But it also takes a lot of pressure off of the person who was like, oh, you're a highwayman, so you're the rogue character, you need to do all the rogue shit.
Yeah.
They don't need to do that shit. They don't
That's
have
right.
to do that. Anybody can do that type of stuff. Anybody can give like inspiration to a friend. Anybody can pop into like the more perilous stunts and like disarm or do dirty tricks,
Yeah.
Anybody could be like a hero or villain. And I just like that it's really, it feels like the Fable of TTRPGs right now for me.
Oh,
You know what I
wow.
mean?
Yeah, that's
Like,
a really good comparison.
the
Yeah.
more that you do things, the better you get at them. And it's like, you're starting out Fable and you're like, I could cast magic, but I really want to shoot everybody. And it rewards you for that, even though, like, I don't know why anybody wouldn't just hold down B once they got fire magic Fable just through the whole game.
Sure.
But That's fine.
Sure.
Be
Well,
wrong.
you
Anyway,
got the
fuck
don't want to
Alice
kill
like
those chickens by accident, you
that.
know.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's just something I like, and so I like that the secret of Swansea and everything, the sort of mystery of it and stuff. It's like you don't know where the thread's gonna go because there's so many places it can go. I told you all that story to tell you that story.
Yeah. I mean, I was just saying, TK, when you and I went into that room with those 3 people, I'm like, we're gonna be punching and shooting some people.
Punch 'em, I guess.
But what a surprise we ran into at the end of
they were
last
like,
session.
surprise. Spoiler, surprise, I'm a cop.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
you still could punch them. I'm just
Yeah,
throwing that out
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
still an option that's
and
on
they're
the
barely cops. They're more like
I'm
hall monitors
hesitating
for Jesus.
at this
So
hall monitors for
Yes.
Jesus.
they're like deacons at a church or something. They're like, I saw you pass the.
They're members of the Purity Club.
Like there's
that's
not even
right.
really a
They've got
hall
their little
monitor at the
necklaces.
school.
Yeah.
They just bring a vest so people feel safe.
That
See.
is a perfect place, I think, to dive into
all right.
what happened in our story so far. So I will be brief because there are many plot threads we could get to. But to be brief, you all came to Swanzi, where you have a mutual acquaintance, Anya Dost. And Anya, who is the constable of the town, asked you to look into some disappearances and murders. The only constable in the village of Swansea.
Yeah, but what's she
small village of
doing right
500
now?
people.
Like,
Not
what's she
giving
got
us
going on?
guns.
She's just fucking around in her office while we do
Currently is delving underneath the city to save people because
we told her to.
Right. Even though wanted more information about what they might be up against. But yeah, so you, in the course of looking for these people, you have found, a secret lair underneath the city that is actually a giant dead body, which appears to be possibly the body of Swanzi, a Nephilim who passed away here and sort of made the valley where the village is in, crafted it themselves using a hammer and chisel. And so within there, you met big, scary shadow, wraith type, who asked you to bring revered Mother Olivia down, so that they could feast upon their soul, the soul of revered Mother Olivia. And we should say that Giles agreed to this. In addition, there were like some zombies and stuff down there too. It seems like those zombies are, well, in fact, those zombies are some of the people who went missing down here. You also went to your investigation led you to some cloth merchants who admitted that they indeed are not cloth merchants, but witch hunters. And so where we left things was with 2 of our characters, Barbara and Giles, on their way to the Fulci Collective, because the Fulci Collective, this group of artists, seems to possibly worship Swanzi, this spirit beneath, and is maybe sacrificing people to them. Unclear. But then also we have the professor and Black Eden, who are currently meeting with the witch hunters, who have 2 dead bodies in their hotel room. So that is a lot. I'm sure other stuff will come up, obviously, as we go through it. But let's quickly just tell me your character's name and profession. Rudy, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm playing Ryle, the Professor Toombs, who is a pugilist, but also is good at other stuff too.
And currently pretending to be the valet of TK. Tell us about your character.
Yes, I'm playing Black Eden, Highwayman, and Danger MILF.
Oof. Diabolical
Danger
MILF, right?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah, a DD MILF.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That what we're going with now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh,
I'm leaning into it.
I'll pray for you.
Diana, tell us about your character.
Yes, I am Barbara Sturgeon, the barber surgeon. No MILF title to speak of. Just a plain old barber surgeon.
Not with that attitude.
Covered in a thin layer of blood and grime is how you
And
describe.
getting thicker all the
Barber.
time.
No, now there's charcoal.
Right, yeah. Now there's charcoal.
I covered
just
up the blood.
to make yourself look like a fancy artist. Oh, that's awesome.
I can't
Oh, with
read.
the
I
hat
don't know
with
what
the
you expected
feather.
from me.
You definitely are exceeding. It's great.
Literally anything else.
Sean, tell us about Giles.
I'm playing Giles Vermont, who is currently also disguised under a fancy hat as an artist. Giles is most notably a smuggler and procurer of rare animals.
That's right. Right. Well, there you go. Like Dr. Hammond, who is indeed a doctor, as we discovered yesterday. So let's start with Eden and the professor. You are in the Slumber Inn, room 213, where Abe, aka Aberdeen, has revealed to you that she is General Aberdeen Hellstrom, the leader of Witchhammer, a group of witch hunters.
Do I know who Witchhammer is?
So,
They
yes.
sound like a dope ass band.
It does sound like a dope ass band, but they are the purity cops. So
Maleficarum.
they're like a group of righteous witch hunters who are known for burning corrupt people who practice foul magic at the stake.
All right. Are they known for burning people or burning corrupt people?
Depends who you ask.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know. Because if they're burning old Greg the Lich, it's kind of like, all right, but you know.
Sure. Yeah, some people definitely corrupt, definitely summoning demons and have been stopped by Witchhammer. Some people, Witchhammer, assure you, were bad.
Are they like their own
That's how you know they were
paramilitary
bad.
group, or do they have the backing of the crown?
They don't have the backing of the crown or a particular church or anything, but a lot of times there's sort of like an authority that gets to operate without the crown, because they even weed out corruption in government, right?
Oh, like the A-Team.
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
that was
Exactly
ridiculous.
like the
That doesn't
A-Team.
make sense.
And so she is there with Vaughn and Zira, and she says, I think we can be honest with each other.
Show me ID.
We don't carry like
You don't?
cards or anything like that. No. But she holds forth her purity talisman. This is a purity talisman that members of Witchhammer wear. And that's all I can really have to show you. I suppose. And she will. She like goes into Foot Locker and she pulls out a hat.
Oh.
Yeah, when she's starting to like pull out stuff from the Foot Locker, I've already like drawn my blunderbuss, just like
hands are
this
clenched.
is another gun. Like,
And she says, no, it's fine. And you would know this hat, which we in America might call a pilgrim hat or a Puritan hat. It's looks like a witch's hat, but flat on top, a plateau. It pulls out that, which we in Zweihander world would know is like a symbol of witch hunters when they're doing their witch hunting. And they're like out in display. They wear the witch hunter hat, and that is
some
what
real
this is.
Solomon Kane energy.
Yeah, exactly. And so she says, listen, we came here a little over a month ago because, well, Witchhammer agents in Cahabro found that there was a chapter of the Fulci collective there, and they were practicing foul magic and performing grotesque and heretical acts. So we came here because we know there is a chapter of the Fulci collective here as well. And so we have spent time trying to find members of the Fulci collective and see what they know. And she says, we captured poor Hale and Proctor, and she motions to the bodies that are wrapped up in cloth. And she says, because we knew that they worked for Lord Franklin Vauxhall, a longtime member of the Fulci and an artist here in town. They were so dedicated to his evil that after weeks of interrogation, these sinners told us nothing. Then other people start disappearing from the streets. This was not our work, but we think the Fulci. The wicked often need souls to fuel foul rites. What could they be planning? Nothing good for the people of Swanzi. Hale and Proctor perished during their questioning, so my agents and I attempted to capture another member of the Fulci last night, Father Pierre, an adherent of the martyr. He works with the Fulci's leader, revered Mother Olivia. But that attempt went poorly. He resisted, and he died. But he died a sinner.
Wow, what the fuck?
Why have you not contacted Anya Dost and told her about this or asked for her aid?
We don't know who's under the sway of the Fulci. Their roots run deep. But you are travelers from out of town, clearly curious. Look, we want this violence to end as much as anyone else.
So
we
you
have to
beat two
discover
men to
what the
death
Fulci
to
are
end
planning.
the violence.
Well, sometimes to make an omelet. gotta
An
break some
omelet out
eggs.
of dead men.
Sure.
Wow.
I mean, again, they died sinners.
I shouldn't be into this, but I am a little, so I am going to cut you some slack.
She gives you the eyes.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey.
Wait, I forget. Did we talk to Giles and Barbara about the stuff going on underneath the church, or did we not run into them?
You have
No,
not
we haven't run
into
into them yet.
Okay.
She says to you,
So you've been responsible for killing 3 men. And after a month being here, you're no further along than when you first started. Am I hearing that correctly?
you are, but
Wow.
we're hopeful that perhaps a partnership with 2 people such as yourselves, who we know are also not what you claim to be entirely. We saw you with Morrow Tweed at the bar. When we saw him talking to Anya after talking with you, feeling that maybe you're working with her to solve some of these murders.
Yeah.
And the violence.
Yeah. I'm a deputy.
Well, how would you like to make some extra coin doing what you were supposed to do in the first place, working with Witchhammer?
I'm nodding. I'm looking at I'm nodding. Yeah.
I do love coin.
Coin sounds good.
I hate narcs, but I love coin. This is quite the predicament I found myself in. Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah. How about 1 gold crown each?
One?
And 1 each also for our 2 partners. And 1 each also for our 2 partners who aren't here.
Yes.
Barbara Sturgeon, the barber surgeon. And
Oh, we don't need to trade names. That'd be.
all right. The other 2.
We don't need all. Oh, okay.
Yes. Well, 1 gold crown for each of your band. If you can find out what's going on, and we'll help you crush the Fulci if you can find any proof of what their crimes might be.
You need proof? You need proof? Why don't you just storm the what's the guy's name?
It's clear you know who the revered mother is.
Or
so.
yeah, or her, yeah.
The Fulci are beloved artists. The town may not take too kindly to us if we were to crush them without any evidence of their wrongdoing based just on what a chapter in Kehebro was doing. We
I'm sorry. Can I do like a quick like God, I don't even know what I would use for this. Maybe like just thinking about like are they well accepted in these parts? Though which because Southern Baptists do better
Sure.
in the South.
Sure.
Yeah. Is
So
there
I
something I
think
can
there are you don't need to roll, right? Because you haven't gone that far. You were just like
Yeah.
3 days away. Um they are uh they are accepted in but not by everyone.
Oh, okay.
But
Walking
it
a
is
thin line, baby.
yeah, and definitely like they're accepted as long as they are seen
Mm.
as getting rid like keeping the community safe. But
Mm.
people don't, not everybody, and most people don't just accept them at the word, especially like, like we're all on we might all be on the side of an authority, but then, they mess with your favorite celebrity. And it's like, well, nope, not into that anymore.
Not my
You
Jerry
know?
Seinfeld.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah,
I knew it.
yeah.
They talk shit about the B movie.
Yeah, they talk
God.
shit about the B
And
movie,
then they're
and you're
just
like,
cut out of the Zweihander stream.
yeah, exactly.
Everybody's see if I've been censored or cut out of this stream, everybody's just gonna be like shaking their head and nodding and laughing at nothing.
Because it was all because you had to shit all over the B
Just
movie.
Shat all over. Just bleep every time I say Jerry Seinfeld for the rest of
But so yeah, so it's sort of like that, right? Like they're seen as an authority, mostly feared, which is how they gain respect, not like beloved.
Yeah.
Fine. For a crown
Okay.
of peace, we'll clean up your mess.
Excellent. And I assume when you make your report to Anya, you won't need to mention what happened to Hale and Proctor or Father Pierre. Probably the work of Fulci.
I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna be lying. So
Yeah,
if you
that's-
want me to make a roll
Strange
for
that
that,
in
James.
your pursuit of justice you need to cover something like that up, but they're nothing to me, so I don't care.
Yeah, go ahead and make a guile test.
Haha.
Yeah, mine isn't to lie. They are nothing to me, and I don't care. But
I will because Eden is being honest. I'll give
Yeah.
you plus 20.
yeah, especially because they said when you make your report, I was like, oh, we have to tell her. Ugh.
I'm gonna tell her.
I was
She's
just
my
going
friend.
to kill. Yeah, I was just going to kill some people and hope that she was fine with it.
I have rolled a success because I'm actually not bad
Excellent.
at this.
I suppose we
Specifically,
could say that
guile.
they died in service to whatever.
43 under a 50.
Excellent.
And I'm just saying, yes. Like I'm not
Yeah.
expanding on that.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. And Black Eden has done enough
Sure.
enough talking for all of you
Cool,
to make her believe. Well, excellent. I recommend going to the Fulci house, the Fulci conclave.
Where's that?
Seeing what you might uncover there. It's in West Shore, the other side of town,
Oh, I have a question.
on top of a hill.
Lord, what's his name? Does he have guards or like guards?
Or is he
Men with
hot?
guns?
Is he hot and rich?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he has an estate,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's what I mean.
Married?
not much crime.
Private
happens
Not
in
a deal
army?
breaker,
Swanzi.
just interested.
No.
No private
Okay.
army. No, yeah.
Okay. Sounds easy.
All right.
Does
Well,
he have a type?
let us go then to the Fulci conclave, where Barbara and Giles are in their disguises. You can see this is a colorful mansion. And it's painted like with images of artists and painters and sculptors and performers and writers, like all on the sides of the house, right? Which would be an odd thing to see in the modern world, but it's even like odder to see in a you know medieval fantasy world where like things are more old timey and less hippie. And it's on top of this hill that like overlooks the valley, and the words Fulci Conclave are carved above the entrance in a bold script. And that's what you can see as you make your way close to there.
Giles, are we pretending to be fanciful artists ourselves, or are we coming as replacement goons for the lord of this manor?
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna go into that building that says Fulci Conclave in Comic Sans, then artists. But if we go over to the left to the big manor house, then goons.
I mean, I'm dressed up like an artist right now, so if we're gonna
That's right.
go in as goons, we probably need to change. I
Yeah,
should go
let's do the
find
right
some
thing.
more blood to cover up this charcoal, but
Should we go find, Black Eden and the professor? Like, we were supposed to meet them for lunch, right? Isn't it lunchtime?
well, I mean, wouldn't you like to go with something to tell them?
That's true. We haven't discovered anything that they need to know about you.
We've got no proof left.
Right, yeah.
You
Okay.
even lost the dog. We're kind of fucked.
What do you mean? The dog's in the church. We're right next to it. We can just go in there. All three
Just
of the
go
buildings
be
are in.
artists.
Right, yeah, let's go to the artists. Yeah.
I will fling the cape dramatically over my shoulder as we
I will
head towards the Fulci Conclave.
I will cough heavily as I inhale my pipe too much.
All right. And I think as you are starting to head over, I would ask Eden and the professor, would you go to the Fulci Conclave after your meeting?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, we'll just get to it.
yeah,
I
whatever
mean,
the
I just didn't want to
professor thinks.
assume.
Yeah.
I'm
so I would
also
say-
bringing that bottle of expensive wine with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
We never
Yeah.
cracked it because they said they
Yeah, we
didn't
never
wanna
cracked
drink.
it, so now it's going to this wealthy artist's house.
So I will say, as you throw your cape over your shoulder, Barbara, you see coming up the hill two familiar faces,
Yeah.
the professor and Eden.
We're also
are hot on your
carrying
heels.
2 yield like Panera to go bags 'cause we missed lunch with them,
We
so-
brought you bread bowls in soup.
We brought tapas.
Good morrow, fair travelers. I am the
Oh.
renowned artist Wayfweather Mayfield. You might have seen me around.
Wayfweather Mayfield.
And
do
I'm
we need
Dr.
to roll to be?
Oh my goodness.
My
I'm
God.
a poet.
Is there anyone else around us, or no? It's just the
Is this
four of us?
embarrassing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say it's just the four of you for now. Yeah.
Thank God. It like honestly, Eden probably like raised their hand to like wave, and then like the moment they were like Feather Mayfield, and the poet, Eden's like glassy eyed, look past them, keeps walking
I'll
past them.
turn and look at Giles then and be like, it worked. She didn't even recognize me.
She didn't know.
Sure didn't
She thought I was
know.
Dr. Pops.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
can't tell who we are. Quick, let's go.
Just like stiff-legged walking past them, just like
Blackie!
oh.
Hi, Blackie. Hi.
Yeah. Oh, it's you.
The professor.
me,
It's
God.
us.
Oh, I can tell the hat and the pipe
Oh,
and the
it's
cape.
Feather,
Oh my
truly,
goodness.
the charcoal, it hides
I got
everything
that
else.
Smoky
Bad
eyes.
idea
Yeah.
from you. I've completely lost my accent. This is not.
It's the pipe.
guy's
It makes you a little hoarse.
We have news. We have news to tell you. Let's all exchange news with each other.
Yeah, let's
Do it
download.
right here in the middle of the street.
You look gaunt and very pale, my friend Giles. What has happened to
Don't
Oh
you?
my
worry,
God,
no.
he's lost like 30 pounds.
You look significantly worse than the half hour I saw you previously.
You look sallow and somehow also satisfied, and I don't like it.
I had a very great interaction with Swanzi, the angel that made this land. And we,
Oh, a religious experience. Disgusting.
I mean, I guess it could have been religious for some. Sure, it was very satisfying. But
We found some zombies.
we're on a mission from
Oh.
God.
Oh
No.
we're not.
no!
Well, kind of are. We have new like subletting our employment.
Yes,
and then
I got us
downloading
all more
of the witch
crossbow
count.
goals.
Oh, we
Crossbows.
negotiated a new contract.
that
It's really a
horse.
side gig. We were on our way here anyway, so
Another crown
Ooh.
each.
Who?
Shut the
With
Nice.
no, I'm sharing with my friends. Witch Hammer. Do all of you have thoughts on them, good or bad? I'm
You would
ambivalent.
all have heard of Witch Hammer before and know that they're
I love their second album.
Puritan
Sorry.
witch hunters.
Does anyone feel strongly either way
Right.
about Witch Hammer?
No.
They all get really silly haircuts. I don't see much of them, but
Yeah.
Well, they're wearing the hats.
I was gonna
over
say
it,
it's
so it really
related
makes
to the
sense.
hats, I'm sure.
Yeah.
they're sort of square, and I don't. If
They
they're gonna
are
pay us,
not.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
As
They
long
want
as
us
they're
to look into
both.
the Fulci collective because they think there's secret evil folks. or
oh, they
something.
are.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah, they're
They've trapped
Oh,
an angel under the
incredible.
church.
the Fulcis, the Faucis. They're feeding townsfolk to
Ah.
Swansea.
oh!
Yes.
Oh, the art nerds. Oh,
Yeah.
ambitious.
It's
And
not
they
great.
use Comic Sans on their building.
Ew, disgusting.
Right?
You have proof? They kept saying
Yeah,
they
well,
needed
it's
proof.
Right there.
It's right there. It's Comic Sans.
No. Wait.
Now
You want-
showing the B movie.
If you want to come meet Swanzi, we can go to the basement of the church.
No,
and
we're
go.
not going back down there, you
I'm not
moron.
going to a basement.
Wait, no, what?
That's
Let's
disgusting.
bring the witch hammers. They
Can we not though?
to the basement.
Can we just send a boy to send them a message to go down there for
I
us?
do loving
Sure.
I
we
do
can
love to
do that,
call
I'm
for
sure.
boy. You there, boy? Whoa.
No,
hold-
boy, you know.
No.
Oh, calm down,
Everybody knows
Seinfeld.
about you there, boy.
I enjoy the
Continental
term "you there,
US
boy."
service.
Yeah, are there any
What
are there
day
any
is
urchins
today?
we can employ to send a message about dead people in the basement?
Yeah,
of the
I would
church?
definitely want to forward, or maybe write it, scroll a letter, a note.
Is there anyone just walking by?
You there,
Yes.
urchin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is
great.
a. You see
You
an old
vagabond.
man walking by.
Oh,
Oh boy.
you there, elderly man?
Old man.
Me?
Yes, you.
Yes. What could I do for you?
How would you like to make a shiny silver piece?
A shiny silver? Oh my god.
This- I mean, it can lead to a shinier gold. So,
What?
No.
Michael,
Yes, I would like this.
Oh my god. we're
does he
paying
look
this dude.
sprightly? Do you think how long would it take him to make it back to Witch
He'll make it
Hammers?
to the church at least.
Hey, he was walking.
He was
in
walking at a
town.
brisk pace, one
Yeah.
may say.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Did he
Uh,
make any
He
sounds
just has
when he
a
walked?
just has an old. He's one of those people that has an old sounding voice, but
Gotcha.
is a spry individual.
That's
he
actually
walks,
just
does he sound
James
like-
without an accent. That's what he sounds
Yeah,
like
that's-
when he's not covering it up.
I normally sound like.
Out for
It's
my
like when he
morning
walks, he
walk.
just sounds like two
Emotional.
skeletons in a bag that you're just shaking. So fun. No cartilage on the entire man. Yeah.
Old
Um,
fellow, could you?
Yes.
I think I have a
Go-
letter.
We're sending them to the inn and then to the church, right? That's the plan.
Yeah, we're
Slumber?
saying we're telling him everything you told us, right? I think we're just.
Well,
gonna-
I think maybe we just tell them to go get the people with funny hats and send them off to the church.
Okay,
Yeah,
they'll meet
we
us at the
send him a
church.
letter.
You know,
What do you
in
think?
theory,
Going
if we
to
don't
the
go in
rich
here and
man.
die.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds good. Okay.
Wait, hold
Tell
on.
the people with
Before
funny
call-
hats to meet you at the church.
They're
Yes.
in room 213.
213. The
They're in
slumber.
room 213.
You'll know because of the funny hats.
Can
Should
I
we-
scrutinize this dude to see if he's gonna take the money and leave?
Sure.
Paying him now?
half now, half later.
Oh,
You're gonna cut
I
a
think it was
silver
a
hat? What are you
silver now
doing?
and then a
Yeah.
gold later. It
No.
was-
What?
Dang.
Is this a
I
kind of
have-
economy where you can cut pieces of, cut coins in half and stuff? That's a
can
thing.
you do that?
They're
Yeah.
actually counterfeiting is a skill that you can
Oh.
use to cut coins.
Oh.
But I think that's illegally. But I mean, you
Oh, because the
Sure, why
'cause the
not?
money is regulated.
Oh,
I know,
it's
yeah.
not
Just
just
like
silver,
you can't
silver.
tear a dollar in
Yeah,
half
yeah.
and get 50 cents out of
Okay.
it.
could.
I have a skill rank in counterfeiting. Just if we want.
Yeah,
You're gonna scam this old guy? You're gonna
Sorry.
scam
This
James
old man is
Introcaso
scamming
for
us.
putting to the game itself?
I wasn't
you know how
until
many
told me that he was
Goals
changed.
we should
Is
buy.
where is Anya again too?
She's
church.
in
She's
the
in the
church.
In the church.
She's in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I
In
do
the basement.
remember
They have lots to talk about. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, send the
Yeah,
witch
but
hunters
they
to the
kind
basement.
of they gave me the impression they didn't want to see Anya.
Yeah.
No problem.
What did they say about the eggs breaking kind of thing? This
Yeah,
strikes me
but
as
I'm
one of those.
concerned that we won't get paid by anybody if we have them meet each other.
Mm.
You
Well,
know what
if
they
they're
say
out of
about
that
like
room, can't we just go get
letting
the
your
gold
side
from the room?
pieces meet.
Ooh, Barbara Sturgeon, idea surgeon.
Whoa, what did Barbara Surgeon say?
Just go ransack their room while they're at the
They're
church.
out of the
If
room.
we know they aren't going to be there,
Protagonists, not heroes.
That's a good thing about
I
the
don't
gun
want to
that
be
I
the
want.
one to tell us to stay on task. I just
You
have
you
a
seem like
strange
you have
feeling.
something important, so why
I just
don't
have a strange
I,
feeling we don't have a lot of time to wrap this up.
Not much.
We could rob them after.
Old man, go and get all of the necessary NPCs and put them at the end of the adventure for us. Thank you. Let's go to the Posse Conclave,
Oh,
everyone.
wow. And now the old man really is me.
It'll be your RPG fitness for the day or whatever. Get out.
Starting to
Well-
maybe think harder about scrutinizing this old man now.
oh man,
Probably
wait
getting a little-
here, and we'll come back with more instructions. And then I'm just gonna turn off and storm again with a big flourish of the cape towards the entrance to the Fulci conclave.
Excellent.
Promised him a silver. We could just pay him in Werthers. I don't.
We're going.
Did someone say Werthers?
No, I said sorghum candy.
Oh, disgusting.
Little bag of Whorehound is all yours, little old man.
Do you want to send him to the? He'll go wherever you want. He's
what's our
he's
thought?
legit.
He's down.
He's
I don't
legit.
mind if they end up meeting each other because I feel like
Okay.
this is
I'm
ultimately
cool with it then.
I mean, they won't go into the church if they know that revered mother
Olivia.
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 Like they probably won't go in, right? They'll just go to the church. That was my thinking, but
I will also say that your deal with Anya was she was going under the church. Like
Yeah.
she's so they may not meet unless they decide to
Yeah.
look for a secret tunnel.
Well, yeah, and we could tell them at least that like we found do we feel okay with saying that like we found evidence of undead
Yeah,
beneath the church?
definitely.
Then that would give them an excuse to like at least hold up Reverend Mother
Yeah.
Olivia and maybe she won't fuck our shit while we're hanging out in this rich dude's house.
So this is a good question because the Fulci conclave
Mm.
and the rich dude's house are actually two different mansions.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I looked at your map, James.
Oh,
I
wow.
looked at it. I looked at it last time.
should we kill the
we-
kiss ass now or later?
Wait until the end of
Let me
it.
go light all the
Later.
candles.
I
there's
have a
just
feeling you'll get what's coming to him. Don't worry.
There's something about him that gives me the impression that there's like an arc that needs to wrap in the form of comeuppance.
So the old man will go and
Okay.
carry out the errand.
Nice.
But right now, yeah. So right now, it's up to you. Where do you want to go? To Lord Franklin Vauxhall's home, or to the Fulci conclave?
Oh, which one did the witches tell it? The witch hunters
The
tell us.
Fulci conclave is both where the witch hunter and Anya suggested you
Oh.
go.
I think we should just go to the
Let's go
conclave.
to the conclave.
Okay.
Yeah, he's probably
it's-
there anyway.
You know, you do you. I'm not your dad.
Is he hot?
You're my dad?
You could be.
Is
Ooh, that felt bad.
Don't answer, James, just don't answer. Just it's
I
safer.
Rudy,
Yeah.
bleep that out for me.
I'm actually confused as to what the question is. so the Fulci conclave. Gonna take Diana's advice here.
Are these vultures on the map?
Are these what?
Are these vultures on the map?
Oh,
They look like vultures.
Oh yeah, I see them. Like
They're
up by the
spooky.
Fulci conclave and the chapter house and the martyr.
Yeah,
the
okay.
map is
I'm
Swanzi.
still not opening the
Vultures.
map, and now I'm feeling bad about it. So
Well,
It's a beautiful map
that's a
done by
spiritual
Mr.
decision.
Latino.
Yeah,
I just
Kyle
want to be
Aquino.
surprised by the deluxe fabric printed version that I'm getting with this
Oh,
Zweihander
Ooh.
one.
you're right.
Zweihander.kickstarter.game. Zweihander.kickstarter.game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you,
Control V,
you
Control V.
Gone.
so when you walk in, Barbara, the first thing you notice is you're in this grand parlor that takes up the entire first story of the building. Um, there's comfortable chairs in circles, and different groups of artists are like gathered and talking. Some are writing things down, like one's in the corner painting. And there is a group gathered at the center of the room sitting in the chairs, like in the center, and they are all talking in hushed voices. And you can see there is a woman in a gray habit who is leading the conversation. Um, and then you can also see on the walls paintings everywhere, landscapes, portraits, battle scenes, sculptures on pedestals that depict everything from the gorgeous to the grotesque. There is a long, low shelf with books and rolled parchment that are clearly like handwritten works, right? Somebody in progress has created these things. And then there's also a staircase that leads up to a second story. A few people look up when you enter. Giles, when you come in here and see all of this art and these supplies, right? There's pens and paper and musical instruments around and things like that. You feel not like not an urge that you can suppress this urge, but you're feeling creative. Like you you could make something. It'd probably be pretty good.
What?
I'm gonna like wave at the people who looked up at me just
Mhm.
as if I know them, as if we're the best friends in the world, and just sort of like feign interest in the artwork as I sort of like slowly mosey in what I feel is a very decadent stride across the room. It probably looks more like shitty dance moves, honestly. But I'm gonna kind of like slow down as I pass um who I assume to be revered Mother Olivia, and see if I can catch any bit of what is being said.
Sure. So I think what you're going to need to do is make an eavesdrop test.
Bum, bum, bum.
Is there any way I can assist with that?
I don't know how you would assist with an eavesdrop test, but if you can tell me and justify it,
Put
I
one of
am.
those silly ear horns up against.
Silly ear horns.
Those old
I
school
guess
ear horns.
The idea that Barbara Sturgeon would be able to eavesdrop, like maybe accompany her, so it wouldn't be so obvious that she's like walking around by
Sure.
herself, but like accompany her and pretend that I'm in conversation with her. And like pretend to be pointing out like portraits and things like that, so we have excuse to linger.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So go ahead, roll up that eavesdrop test then, Barbara, and you can roll your D10, TK, and then Barbara can
Yeah.
replace.
Honestly, I should have just
Am I
rolled.
allowed to do the thing with the what
I
is
got
it called?
5.
Fortune?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so what? But first, you're being assisted, so you might be able to succeed
Oh no,
with the assist.
there's no way. Even if I'm assisted, I
Oh.
don't think. Wait, unless
Oh.
I can use it to replace the tens.
You can. You
Oh.
can. Yes.
What'd you get, TK?
I got a 5.
Yeah, that's still not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
Really?
All right. Well, let's fortune it up then.
All right.
Hell yeah.
let's
You
do
can
it.
both re-roll on a fortune.
Ooh,
Kick
fun.
ass.
Oh, but wait, does that count as me sacrificing a fortune point if I'm re-rolling?
So there's already a fortune point, so I'm
Yeah.
just letting the assist re-roll two.
Okay.
Two re-rolls for the cost of one.
Yeah, I was just checking to see if it would trigger
Right.
my cursed.
Oh, I see.
2.
No, in this
Hell
case,
yeah,
no.
2.
That I will use that as my tens place, which gives me a 28, which succeeds.
Yeah, I like to
Excellent.
think that like we were too far away at first, and then I've like, oh, look at that sculpture, and have like forcibly pulled you close to a wall to like point out like details on a sculpture or something, and I'm really
I
just
was
talking to
admiring some
myself.
doorknobs thinking that they were art, but they actually weren't. And Black Eden, they came in and they like saved the day. They were like, no, this is the art over here.
Yeah. It's just
Um,
like, oh, a sculpture. Yeah, let's get like within 1 foot of the Reverend Mother.
Oh, the sculpture, yes.
Yes.
So you hear, Barbara, it's like the tail end of a conversation where this woman who in the gray habit is saying, like in a very whispery, conspiratorial tone, look, the fact is, Father Pierre was murdered, and I have no doubt that we are a target now. We have to find whoever is trying to kill us, and then we will set the muse upon them. And then like she notices you all and looks up and says, "Oh, new faces. Hello. Hello.
Good day.
I'm not with
Oh, you're not with them?
them. Not those 2.
Okay. So what are Giles and the professor doing right now?
I'm standing in the foyer waiting for someone to come over and say hello to me.
Oh, okay.
I immediately went over to the paintbrushes and picked up some brushes and
Ooh.
and a paint palette,
I'm
and then
following
went over to
Giles.
one of the sculptures that's clearly done already and started painting it.
Oh. I
Like this
think
beautiful white marble of something that I'm just like, yes, this needs color.
the moment you go over to do that, revered Mother Olivia, who you're presuming is revered Mother Olivia,
How
puts
old
a finger
is
up
revered Mother
to.
Olivia?
Great question. Looks to be in her 50s.
Compared to the
Maybe a
spry
face
old
card.
man we met on the streets.
Yeah.
So wait, how old is that building that she made?
The building that she made?
Yeah.
So it's fairly new. It's been made in the last like
Ah.
decade or so.
So
Oh,
modern
okay.
architecture then.
Modern
That's why I
architecture.
didn't understand.
Exactly.
Well,
Like Helen Mirren. Is she hot?
She yeah, sure. She looks like a like hot Helen Mirren.
That's what I like.
that's redundant. Helen Mirren's already hot.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, like that.
yeah. Helen Mirren, an attractive woman. Anyway, revered Mother Olivia puts a finger up to you, Barbara, as you're introducing yourself, and says, "Excuse me, you with the paintbrush."
Yes, I am Dr. Pipes.
I'm going to actually step away from Dr. Pipes at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
That's a completed sculpture. Please do not paint.
My mistake.
Yes, I see many new faces. What is it that I can do for all of you? We're having a meeting here. Please stop with the paint.
This one's completed too.
Just drawing
Yes, don't
mustaches
paint
and
any
glasses.
sculptures that you can see. If you would like to paint a sculpture, create a sculpture of your own.
I walk over to the blank
Aye.
marble and I start thinking.
Okay.
Good day. I am Mayweather Fayfield. I'm a new artist to town, and I've heard wonderful things about the Fulci movement. So here I am, investigating for myself.
What is your discipline?
Art.
Yes, but what sort of art? Do you paint? Make clothing?
Crack! As I just hit the marble with a hammer and chisel.
Excuse me. It's really meant for members of the collective only.
Yes, I'm a member from I name a city that's near here.
Well
Oh.
then,
Good
come,
call.
let us check the record books, and I'll make sure that you're here.
Bad
I
call.
wonder if we
Great.
would have told them about the Fulci movement that was fucked by the
Definitely
witch
would have
hunters.
spilled
Yeah, I'll
all
say
the
that
info.
town because we know that
Yeah,
those
you
guys are evil. So I'll say
Yeah.
that town.
They're evil and also dude.
I'm assuming that when you all met up, you exchanged all
Yeah,
of your
okay.
information.
Yeah.
That's what all of that cross
So
talking
we know
was.
there was a chapter there.
Can I,
Yeah.
James, can I also ask a reminder question? The muse is the person that we've been, or the spirit that we've been
The
assuming
one
is
you've been
Swanzi,
calling
right?
Daddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Daddy Swanzi.
And mommy.
I don't presume to know.
Yeah.
Parent,
I think that's
parenting
fair.
Swanzi.
Yeah. So, what do y'all? She says. So you're here to learn more about the conclave?
To whom?
To you. Sorry.
To me. Okay.
To you. Yeah.
Yes, I've just heard such wonderful things, and I saw the beautiful building that was constructed by one revered Mother Olivia. I couldn't help but wonder about such a movement.
Oh well. She will say, well, it is our chapter is small, not as big as the one in Quehebro or any of the other places, the major cities, but we do have some of the finest artists around. Our quality is very high. I'd love to see some of your work.
Oh, well, if you give me a moment to just siphon the creative energy from the folks in this room and just absorb the art. I'll kind of wander over to whatever art station is nearest to me.
In the meantime, like Black Eden is like looking, it's like it's a first date, it's not going well.
I
Let's see
literally
how
would
it
have mumbled to
goes."
Black Eden under my breath as I walked over there. Fucking help me! I can't make art.
Oh, fuck.
Yes. Well, we're actually dealing with a bit of a crisis at the moment. Now is not a good time.
I'm totally not paying attention.
One of our members was murdered.
Oh.
Still not
God.
paying
Dear God, who was it?
It's not important, Father Pierre. He's also a member of my order. And
Pierre.
I'm sorry. We're really
Father Pierre's who I came to visit.
our constable is overworked and incompetent, and we are trying to solve the
That sounds
mystery
right.
ourselves.
I mean, no.
Father Pierre was a friend of mine. It's who I come to visit. So please, as a fellow Fulci, allow me
He never
to.
mentioned any friends.
He hadn't mentioned any friends.
Who would want to hurt members of such a wonderful conclave?
Oh, God.
And also, please don't be mean to my dead friend. Do not speak ill of him.
I think I'm gonna need a guile test from both Giles and
Just-
Barbara.
Well,
Sitting
was fun while
here,
it
just like,
lasted.
wow. Black Eden's eyes like drift over to the professors, just like, please, God, please be,
That's a 14.
please be
That
investigating
fucking
something
succeeds.
well.
I
Wait,
mean,
did you
artists
say
are weird.
14?
Mhm.
Did you say 14?
Yeah.
I rolled a 14.
Shut up.
Fucking show
Um,
you the dice.
This woman is grieving.
Yeah, she looks flustered, but she does believe that you are who you say you are,
Against all odds.
and says,
This is how lying works in this universe.
please come back tomorrow. Right now, what we're dealing with is this is an all hands on deck situation. And right now, you are all just in the way. And I'm very sorry to say that.
Well, I should like to know that I'm safe as an artist among you folk overnight. Who would want to hurt you?
And if it's all hands on deck, then my hands, they are here on this deck, as well as my serving man. Kyle Zooms, my serving.
Kyle Zooms at your service.
No, sometimes call him the adjunct.
Crying.
Oh. Look, we're.
You must allow us to assist. Well, I don't know either of these other two people, but you must allow us to assist.
Hurtful.
If you would like to assist, well, I suppose we could start by maybe having a look at the scene where Father Pierre was killed
Oh no.
in an alley. Maybe if you went there and investigated, you could report back what you found.
Seems like a start, sir.
What if we went and looked at the body?
What if we
though?
looked at the body then, madam?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid his body is being prepared for burial.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Outside of this little cluster of folks in the center of the room, you said that there were other groups of artists talking and things.
Yes.
What?
I mean, everybody is looking at you all now.
Sure,
You're making a scene.
you know,
Of course, we're
I'm a
hot.
renowned artist, so of course they are. Do they all look okay, or do some of them have the same sort of gaunt, hollow look to them that Giles has
Good
recently
question.
adapted?
That is an excellent
Yeah.
question.
Who
and-
smells like they've been touched by the Muse Daddy?
And I would say, Barbara, with your knowledge of medicine and healing, you can see that there are some people who are a little more Giles-like, but then there are some people who are like, how Giles will look in a day or two from now. Not 100%, but also not where Giles currently is, right?
Like they've been dead for
Do I kind of have enough contextual knowledge to connect the dots and be like, okay, so this is how they're siphoning that artistic energy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Are there
I
people
will.
that
I
look
will.
I would say
leave-
if you, Diana, have connected those dots,
Yeah.
then Barbara has as well.
I'm gonna sort of like big fake yawn stretch in Black Eden's direction and just sort of
Yeah.
whisper under my breath, "They've all been touched by the daddy."
Fuck. Are the people who look gaunt, are they in the inner circle or solely outside of the inner circle?
Some are in the inner circle, and the inner circle is just people sitting in chairs talking,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. I'm
So-
trying to get an idea for like, hey, is it just Olivia at the top, or Olivia looks gaunt or doesn't look gaunt? Because they did the Muse did say that.
Yeah,
Mm.
Olivia
down
does
there.
not look gaunt.
So I think Black Eden would be like, yes, that's the top of the heap, and everybody else is disposable. Just like me. Yeah.
Wait, what?
What? Yeah, I
Nothing,
think
nothing,
he's like,
said nothing.
they've all been touched by the daddy, and like Black Eden like glances around and is like, ooh, disgusting, and then like tries to catch the attention of the professor, like, and just goes like this to like signal like gaunt, and then directs their eyes to Giles, like,
Oh. I'm gonna mosey on over to some of these other people.
Okay.
Oh, the artist's life, one can be a bit starving, eh?
Honestly, we're there's we'll say a person writing some poetry who looks rather gaunt, and they're like scribbling very quickly, right? Like
Whoa.
line after line, like Mozart in the Requiem being like, and then the trio becomes a quartet, and the quartet a quintet, and so on, that sort of thing.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Look at him go.
coke's
and
a hell of a drug.
What
and
inspired you?
looks up at you and says, no one here is starving. We all make a very good living as artists. in the
Well,
fields we
I
come
am
into."
just
Who the
curious
fuck's
as to
buying
what
it?
what is your process then, mate? Look at you go.
My
Where's that
process
come
is
from?
I write poetry and I don't talk.
Wow, it's not manners, I can tell you that much. Not part of your process.
Now we found the James Introcaso self-insertion character.
Artists, right?
Would I punch a
Damn.
man for speaking that way to me? Would the professor punch someone who spoke that way to him? No, I'm a gentleman. I would never stoop to that level.
He
You
just, like,
can make
tips
a
his
charm
toe.
test here, though, Professor, to see if you can
A
break
charm?
through charm or guile. I'll
I'm a
take guile.
poet.
Oh, you take guile?
I'll take guile.
I'm a bit guileless? I don't even know what I would
While
say.
he's rolling,
Ready,
is
ready.
there anything, any like symbolism
Roll.
that carries like around through all the art? Is there that same androgynous figure in the paintings, in the sculptures, in the art that we're seeing in here?
Good question. So there is an upstairs. So this is not everything in the house, right? But go ahead
Sure.
and make an awareness test.
Okay.
I rolled a 28 under 50, so that's a success.
I too
And there's-
successed, just
Nice.
barely.
Okay. So the poet puts down their book that they're writing in and says, "All right, tell me what it is that you do. Obviously, you want to share with me your love of your art."
Oh, yeah, one might say that I'm a bit of an artist in the squared circle, personally. I was wondering if that counts as part of the collective.
The square just. Oh, are you a pugilist?
Aha! None other. And that is the
I
correct way to
see.
say it.
Yes. No, we don't. Violence is a last resort.
Combat arts? No?
Well,
Tell me
respect
you
them?
also do erotic
I mean, I
fiction.
respect them in that they can keep me alive, but it's a piss poor way to make a living.
Bitch, what the fuck
This
you
guy's
say?
so mean.
He is mean.
This coming from a professional fucking poet? I'm sorry.
James, why is this version of you so mean?
Well,
Not all NPCs are versions of me.
I mean,
Not true.
actually, they are. Like in
Yeah.
reality, in this.
What
Yes.
percentage would you say though? This feels like a solid 87.
Wow, that is.
A specific amount.
I swear, like this was this is a recreation of the conversation James and I had when we first met.
I knew
It's like,
it.
obviously you want to tell me something.
well, then what if I wanted to change professions? What if I wanted to be a poet too? Can I apprentice you?
Stands up and like walks a slow circle around you, looking you up and down, as if your physical form is going to reveal anything about how good a poet you are. But he's clearly sizing you up. Says, "Well, spin a verse for me."
Dear
Spin
God.
a
I have
verse!
only myself to blame.
Fucking freestyle it, bud. Somebody in the back whose art is beatboxing.
I hate
You
this
can
so
make
much.
you don't actually have to,
Oh.
if you would like to not actually do it, you can make a charm test to see how well you do
I feel like that's cheating.
Go with that feeling.
Yeah.
Go with that feeling.
Edit out the bad versions and then just
I mean, I
put it-
guess the question is the professor actually good at poetry or not?
I'm trying to think. Maybe in like a Muhammad Ali sense, before fights, during the
fuck
pre-talk
yeah.
stuff. I've done a little rhyming to catch the people's attention before a fight. So maybe in his background, he's done a little bit of that in the past. I failed though.
Boasts were a form of medieval poetry. Like boasting was like a whole like bardic
Sure.
thing.
Insult sword fighting. I know a little bit of that. And not only did I fail, but I crit failed. In fact,
Oh,
God.
So somebody really does start beatboxing.
I go.
he
I came to Swanzi to Swan Sea
he leans over and says to you,
to see swans.
"Why are you really here?"
I push him, then walk away.
So Barbara, looking at the art, you were looking to see if there's sort of anything within it that binds them together. So there's a few things you notice about the area in general, and then we'll get into the art. The first thing is, Mother Olivia is wearing a key ring on her belt. And you also notice that on the bookshelf, there is a leather-bound grimoire that looks like it's been like shoved between some papers, but there's on the spine of this leather-bound grimoire, there is a face that looks a lot like the face that was on that statue that you saw before.
I'll do like another stretch yawn and just again catching Black Eden's eye, just sort of like flick my wrist in the direction of that book while taking
Black
a step away from it.
Did you
Eden.
say whether there were books around it, or is it yours?
So it's on a bookshelf, and there are like papers around it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You do notice it. You notice what Barbara is trying to point out to you. And then you, Barbara, with your awareness test, I think probably also know that you can see that everybody is getting a little antsy with you all around here. And they're like very clearly waiting for you to leave so that they
I
can
will feign
continue their
fainting.
conversation. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'm going to try and keep all of the focus on me as if I am having a medical emergency that I can convincingly recreate with my background, and let everybody else steal things or punch poets or do whatever they want to do.
I'm gonna knock a
meantime.
sculpture over on my. I'm leaving fuming, and I'm gonna push a
knocking
sculpture over because I'm.
All
just in a
right,
bad
lots of
mood.
distractions happening here.
Yeah, I'm going to try and like indicate the book to Giles. Unfortunately, I am not an agile person, not good at like skullduggery or like roguish things or anything, but I will I will charm and play up like the faint and just be like, "Oh my god. She does this every time that we're out anywhere and it's just like is there somebody here who can help me?" Like it's a very like Karen-esque in Starbucks.
I'll like fake come to for a second and just Black Eden, where are they? And then faint again.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Okay.
yeah. I wanna play that up. I'd like to use Silver Tongue if I can. If there's anybody who's like a different social class, I expect there's probably aristocrats here though.
Yeah, they are aristocrats.
Okay, well that's fine.
But go ahead, Black Eden. You can make a guile test, and you can aid if you would like, Barbara.
God, I'm not good at Giles.
With your fading.
Jesus.
Giles, what are you doing? All right. So go
I'm getting
ahead.
that book.
So go ahead and make a skullduggery test with plus.
Oh, you got 3? I'm gonna use that to replace the 10's place then and succeed at Guile.
Great. So you will get with all of these distractions. Rudy, you don't need to make a roll to knock down a
Oh
sculpture.
my
You can just do it.
Nice.
As you do, the poet follows you out, like into the street, and is like, "Excuse me, you must pay for that. You must pay for that."
Parking lot.
Break this man
You
in
just
half.
stepped
Whoop his
into
ass.
my poet. Now I'm going to show you some poetry myself, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, they call him the typewriter.
Nice.
Fuck out of here.
So go ahead and make your skullduggery test.
I have a plus
Oh my
what to it?
god, isn't anybody gonna help who has
30.
smelling salts?
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if ever there was a distraction,
Yeah, that's under 85.
okay, nice. So yeah, you have managed to pick up this leather-bound grimoire. And you tuck it away. Meanwhile, out in the street,
If there's
Giles,
one thing I
no one's
can't
around?
abide, it is rudeness, sir. And I came to you with an open mind and an open heart, and you were very unkind.
he sure
Now it
was.
is my turn to return the favor. I'm gonna punch him.
Come to him with a closed fist.
I rolled a critical success.
You punch through
All
his
right.
face.
What are you trying to do? You trying to knock him out? You trying
Yeah, I'm gonna knock
to-
him out and then drag him back to the crazy people.
Take his pants.
The hats.
Are you like back inside?
No.
The chapter house of the martyr.
The
The
witch
witch hammer?
hammers. Yeah,
Okay.
he's
All
all
right.
gaunt, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much so. And you hit him and like just folds like a paper bag,
Yeah.
right? Like crumples down onto the ground. And you can. I guess you're headed to the temple. Is that?
Yeah, I'll
because
meet
that's
them.
where you expect Witch Hammer to be. Okay. Great.
I mean, if
we
they're
can
gonna
grab the book.
interrogate,
Yeah.
innocents
What-
to death,
Mhm.
they can take a non-innocent guy. And
Once I grab the book, I'm gonna follow.
Okay.
I'm gonna get out of there as well. while the focus is on Black Eaton and our artist friend.
So, Giles, you come out just as the professor is lifting up.
And I'm saying, oh, Kyle Zoom, you've drank way too much. Let me carry you off back to your room, my friend, as I'm hefting this guy over my shoulder.
Okay.
It's a novel idea. I, Dr. Pipes, will assist.
Jesus Christ.
And I like pick up his hat. Like I pick up something the guy dropped, and I'm like, oh, it's so heavy.
Are you you doing anything while you're on your way to the temple? Like checking out the leather-bound book, I guess. That's my real question.
Oh, sure, yeah, I'll crack that open.
You don't have to.
No, I will.
Okay.
The professor should probably be the one to read it. I'm just saying, maybe not the one who's already been possessed by
I love the way
Muse
that
Daddy.
James asked,
So just a thought.
Are you sure? That's right. You
There's
don't
like,
have
you
to.
Okay,
want to
right.
do. You want to engage in the.
I got an apothecary backup character. I'm willing to bring
You
it.
know,
I
at this
am-
point, I feel like he's just gonna get sucked into the book, and then the storyline will end.
Yeah.
Giles?
It's actually, yeah.
Gone.
The
Giles
Page
is
Master.
the muse, and so it comes back around. This is the creation. It's a time loop.
Oh wow. Okay, well, kind of anticlimactic. Good writing, James.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
Jesus.
Shots fired.
Wow.
Damn.
I felt my nuts shrivel.
Diana's a
more
shot
like
for
more like Zweihander Ender Kit. So who is reading it?
I'll read it.
Yeah,
He's
I
carrying a
can.
body. I'll
I'm
read
carrying a body.
All right. So within the book, it talks about the founding of Swanzi, a story you've already heard, right?
it. Yep.
But then it goes on to describe the members of the Fulci finding the muse, the spirit of Swanzi, beneath the earth, and that that allowing the muse to feed off of them gave them inspiration and creativity, hence the name. That's where
man.
the muse came from. But that they believe that the muse is truly the spirit of Swanzi, that the muse in early days did kill some artists by draining them, but now the Fulci is controlled, and they keep the muse locked away and visit only when they need inspiration from them, and they only let them take enough for them to be inspired before moving away, and that they have built several structures, two structures that lead down into the muse's lair. One of them is the Temple of the Martyr. The other is Vauxhall Manor, also has an entrance that leads down.
Oh man, Dr.
The
Pipes.
scale,
High
the
five.
scale of this giant body just like quadrupled as you said that. I thought you were gonna say Fulci Conclave, and then you said it's like half the map.
Yep. Yeah. It's
Damn.
big.
Evidence City. We're getting paid. Let's go find the witch hammer.
Yeah. So but it all seems, I mean, it's not like recent events are not necessarily covered in there.
Sure, but
Yeah.
this seems to substantiate what we've already figured out, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Meanwhile, back in the parlor, Barbara and Eden. So Barbara, you see Giles leave, and doesn't return after a little while. The professor is also gone, and revered Mother Olivia is standing over you, saying, "Well, can you take her outside?" She seems to have lost all of her patience.
Sorry, I'm just not very, strong. Does somebody mind helping me? Or I'm like talking
She
to her, but I want to
reaches
also
down.
like look around and see, is the book gone?
The book is gone. Yes.
Awesome. I'm going to understand that one of my companions did it. Okay, she reaches down. Sorry.
And grabs Barbara by the hair
Oh,
Ooh.
that's rude.
and starts to pull her, like
Oh,
drag.
I- I immediately come to,
Oh,
Mhm.
she's fine.
razor in hand,
Ooh.
and
Oh!
slash at her wrist. You
Oh
don't
my
touch a
goodness.
barber's hair.
I thought she was
Touch a
Yeah.
barber's hair.
I'm here
You
for
don't
it.
touch a
I'm
barber's
I thought she was
hair.
gonna throw a bomb. I thought she was just gonna be like, "Fuck you, bomb."
Sorry, Black Eden. I didn't mean to get you killed.
Oh, she's
These are a bunch
fine.
of artists.
This is so embarrassing for me specifically. We should go.
Go ahead, make your simple weapon roll.
But
And she is surprised.
That's a 47 over 50, so I succeed.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Okay. And what does this mean? So go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh boy, that's a D6, right?
It is a D6 plus a number that should be
Plus
on
the
your
thing
sheet.
that's on my sheet. That's 5 damage.
Nice. Okay. So she starts bleeding from the wrist as you slash her.
this is embarrassing. Sorry.
Are you gonna try to smooth this over?
No, I'm gonna try and get us both out of here.
Okay. Because she says, "Grab them."
Oh.
Fuck.
The music.
I toss a bomb.
Oh my goodness. This
my
escalated
God. All right, let's roll for
At the
initiative.
opposite end of the conclave.
Yeah, when she's
Um,
like, grab them, Black
James has
Eden's
already said
kind of
there's a
like,
bunch of like paint and
all
shit.
right, nothing for it then. Time to grab the blunderbuss.
Throw that
Okay.
bomb into the,
Yes.
throw it into the paint cabinet.
So go ahead, roll
Cover
for
all the
initiative. Let's
sculptures.
start there.
No.
Jesus
I
Christ.
fuck up those sculptures I wasn't allowed to paint.
Is it a D10? It's a. What do we roll for initiative?
It is.
D10.
D10
D10
plus
plus
your
your
initiative mod.
initiative.
That's what I thought.
Okay, 5 plus 11 is 16.
18.
Dang. Okay. Barbara, you're going first, and then you are right after Eden. Barbara. So you're throwing your bomb?
I'm tossing a bomb and then I'm turning tail and running.
And who are you? Are you tossing it at a person or just?
Literally just at the opposite end of the room.
Okay. I don't
Preferably
think you
near some
need-
art.
I don't
Because
think
they're
you
artists,
need
right? So they'll want to
to
save it. Like,
roll for that. Like you're hitting a barn. You know what I mean? Like you're hitting a wall, basically.
yeah.
You're gonna do it. And the wall is gonna go up in flames. There's like and revered Mother Olivia screams. You've got 2 action points left. What are you doing?
How
Running?
far are they from us right at this very moment?
So you're engaged if you just slashed revered Mother Olivia.
This is true.
But
I-
everybody else is like nobody's blocking your way to the door. It looks like a fair number of members of the Fulci are getting ready to run, not fight, because the building's on fire. But yeah, so you've got her, and then everybody else is within 1 move.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run.
Okay.
I think that makes the most sense right now.
All right. You run, and you can see just like a block away, Giles and the professor carrying a body as Giles reads aloud from a book.
Can I
Really?
yell "Go faster" as I run?
Yep.
I heard the explosion, and I see you. So
I'd like to think that before the explosion happened, we're like, man, we definitely picked up on the cues from our team. We're doing
yeah,
so
we did a
good.
great
They're not gonna be able
job.
to-
Like quiet signaling and whoop,
We're
kaboom.
so good at this.
Eden, what would you like to do?
I would like to at least hustle out of there. I don't want to do the run
Yeah.
movement action. I'll do
Okay.
hustle, but I would like to. I don't see anything in here that's like super. Am I engaged?
No, you are not.
Okay. I don't see anything, but basically I want to cover our escape with the blunderbuss of basically like while I am hustling, I would like to at least wait or take aim or something like that while I'm hustling out of there so that if whoever tries to follow us, I can shoot.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, you can absolutely do that, right?
Yeah,
You can...
I didn't see anything really for like cover escape, but
Mhm, mhm.
essentially that.
Yeah, you're kind of like readying the action.
Yeah.
You do see people are running for the door,
Yeah.
but it looks like to flee a burning building, not
Yeah.
to
Yeah. The moment that
tackle.
I heard grab them, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, this woman, first of all, jigs up. So we're at least going to have to worry about her. But there's always a chance that she has authority over other people that
Right.
are like combat inclined. So that's like my big thing is
Yeah.
like, if anybody comes at us with intent, as opposed to like panicked escape.
Yeah. Professor, I'm gonna put you here in initiative. You see smoke starting to come out of this building. You see Barbara yelling, "Go faster!" You see Black Eden leaving with a blunderbuss drawn, pointed back at the door. And you hear yelling and shouts of alarm. What's your plan?
I feel good that Black Eden has the gun, so I feel safe.
Let's
I feel
put a
like
little
they're
pep in
fine.
our step.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and, yeah, just make it. We have the law on our side. We have the evidence. We have someone that we can interrogate. So I'm happy running and finding Witchhammer and finding Anya, and then arresting everybody and getting paid.
Okay.
So
I love money.
it's pretty great.
Uh,
Don't have to arrest him if they're burned.
That's also good.
Giles,
Mm.
you hear the voice of the muse in your head.
Daddy.
And where you were touched starts to turn cold again as this voice says, "Our deal. We had a deal.
Yes, Daddy.
She will be here soon and vulnerable." And as that is said, you hear revered Mother Olivia running out into the street. Black Eden, you can fire if you would like
Yeah,
to.
Oh,
I spent 1 to hustle and 2 to take aim.
Okay, yeah.
So, or 1 to take aim, sorry, because shooting her is
Right, sure.
is 1. So plus.
Yeah, she is running out and she's wielding this small knife.
Okay,
And it looks
so
like she's
gotta be
running towards
under
Barbara.
65.
You brought a knife to a blunderbuss fight.
Oh man. Okay, good. I have to roll under 65 and I got a 61.
Great.
What the fuck?
Let's see.
61, less than 65. Math facts.
Gunpowder, shrapnel, volatile, weak. Do I roll for damage or is it just
You
straight
do
damage?
roll for damage, so it's a d6 plus your combat bonus still. It's just that you can hit a lot of people with it. So
Okay.
if you,
So-
it shoots out in a cone basically.
Sorry, I haven't fought this game. So
Oh, no.
you say plus the combat bonus. Is that the damage box or
Yeah, so it should be right in the damage box, d6
Okay.
plus whatever.
awesome 5 or no, sorry, 7. I rolled 2.
7.
So
Okay, nice.
yeah. So shrapnel, volatile, weak, gunpowder. That's what
Yes.
we're looking at.
Okay, and you don't have to. This is just me letting you know that you can spend a fortune to turn any damage die roll into a 6.
ooh.
Unfortunate. Like, you know what?
What?
You don't have to. I just wanted to.
I
remind
will,
everybody
because
of
this is
that.
our
Yeah.
last session. So I will do it,
Yeah.
even though it's the cursed one. So I do have to roll a chaos die real quick. I'm
Yeah.
gonna turn that into a 6, and that'll be 11 damage.
Did you roll another 6?
You exploded that
Okay.
priestess.
That sacrifices another fortune point, so I sacrifice 2
That's okay.
fortune points to get a 6.
That's fine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
the cursed
Oh,
drawback.
gotcha. Okay.
So we
Nice.
have 1 left.
But you also get to roll another damage die
Another one.
because a 6 explodes
Yeah.
and you turned it
Yay!
into a
Completely
6.
explode this,
4.
this lady.
So
15.
6 plus 5 is so 15.
So, all right, let me roll
I
some
wanna-
d6.
I don't know what I assume that Giles didn't share with me that he needs to feed the Reverend Mother to
Yeah, 100% I did. I was
You
like,
did?
He was
I was
pretty
like,
upfront about it. Yeah.
Swanzi
Yeah.
wants Swanzi wants his I would have phrased it as like Swanzi wants his their jailer.
Let me just look at something real quick.
And what
I
Swanzi
don't have the
wants.
AP to do subdue, but I would like to aim for like a leg or something.
Yeah, she
Not kill her outright or anything, you know.
looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like if you had done one more damage, we would be having a very different conversation right now.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think I aim for the knife shoulder.
Yeah.
So like the dominant shoulder.
So it's a
So she'll
blunderbuss,
still
right?
follow
Is like a shotgun, and so it like
Like
would
buckshot.
pepper most of her
Woof.
with pieces of birdshot, and she falls to the ground,
So
wheezing.
aiming is more like intention.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. So I mean, that's where most of it's concentrated is in her shoulder, but she falls to the ground wheezing, and you hear people now yelling like, "Call the constable!" And members of the Fulci are just fleeing now, right? Like you messed up this person, you lit their house on fire. You're carrying one of them, like
How
they're
close
I can
terrified
carry
of
two
you.
of them. Should I turn around and come back for?
I was
another
gonna
load? You can go?
I was gonna
Yeah.
turn around and go get her.
All right.
Yeah, as soon as the gun goes off, Black Eden like hustles front facing now because it takes 4 AP to load that fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Oh damn.
yeah,
Yeah.
you get one, baby.
You get one, but it
Yeah.
fires in a giant cone, so you can
Mhm.
hit multiple people. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so you've got her. There's chaos right now, as people are running, but you see a lot of people like running toward the building now to like bucket chain, form a bucket chain,
Oh.
save the art, right? Like there's, the
fuck that
townsfolk
art.
are starting to get in as you all are making your way to the Temple of the Martyr still.
Yeah. Was I able
Okay.
to go and pick up
Yep.
the
Yeah,
revered
you
mother?
can
Nice.
have revered Mother Olivia.
I'll pass the book off to Barbara. Barbara doesn't seem like she has a gun in her hand.
Barbara can't read it also, so she
Yeah, I
can't
Yeah,
think
be
a
corrupted by
blunderbuss
it.
is two-handed.
I will pass the
Great.
book off to
There's
Barbara.
great pictures, Barbara. Some really good pictures.
Wonderful.
Neat.
Okay, so there are cries of alarm and shouting. People occasionally stop to ask you if they can help, like, oh my god, is revered Mother Olivia okay? But they see that you're taking her to the Temple of the Martyr, which is also a house of healing. And so yeah, so as you make your way there, and in front of the church are General Aberdeen Helmstrom and 4 other witch hunters, and they are in full witch hunter attire now.
Okay.
With their with their hats and everything.
I choose
And
to believe General Aberdeen looks like a really hot Wednesday Addams.
a very hot Wednesday Addams. So hot. She's Thursday Addams. Look, I regretted it as soon as it started, but I had
love
to finish it.
I wish I could give you fortune for that, James.
Jesus Christ.
You can. I get.
You know what?
Can?
Yeah.
Wait, no.
let's give you
I
a
don't want to give you
fortune for it.
misfortune, James. No.
I
That's the last-
will.
That's the last session. I'll give you fortune for it.
And
Hello.
and they say, yeah, well, we just arrived.
Excellent. Excellent. We have lots of fun evidence for you proving that there is quite a bit of corruption going on in here.
Yeah.
Here's a book.
Barbara is going to open the book, rip out a handful
Nah.
of pages, and hand them to General Aberdeen.
That's not
and
how
then
books
charge
work.
inside to find Anya.
Okay. When you come in, you see Mother Eloise is sitting in the pews praying and turns around and says, "You."
I keep running.
Yeah.
That usually works.
Never
and-
seen it before in my life.
So you keep running. Do you run like? Where are you going?
I'm running to underneath the church where we sent Anya, who may be dead now that I think about it, about what we sent them down there.
No, she's got a dog.
Yeah.
You know, the
true.
dog maybe
And-
met the muse as well.
Mhm.
But
And Morrow. Don't forget we sent Morrow down there.
oh no.
Oh,
But
Mara's
yeah,
probably dead.
we're just gonna assess that situation, and this way I have some proof to
Mhm.
share if they're still not dead.
Okay. So yeah, you can run down the steps. What are the rest of you doing?
Same.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the witch hunters go first because I don't want to die, and I want if they die, it's whatever.
Are we still in initiative?
No.
Then I want to load my blunderbuss
Nice.
Okay.
while it doesn't cost 4 AP
Yeah.
to do it.
And then are you gonna follow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So-
I had no idea there was like stairs and shit there. Like I knew there was a hidden door.
Yeah, I didn't know
but
that
it's like,
either,
oh
Mhm.
fuck.
so.
It's
If-
like, all right.
If Black Eden, if I notice Black Eden following me into the temple,
Mhm.
temple, right? What did we decide this
Mhm.
building was called?
Chapter
Yeah,
house.
it's the chapter house or the temple of the martyr. Yeah.
Okay, the Temple of the Martyr. Yeah, if I notice them following me in, I'm gonna kind of like call over my shoulder as I run, just Mother Eloise, and keep going.
Am I supposed to shoot?
Come on,
you?
two for two on these
She's-
nuns. You can
she's-
do it.
But she's not involved with this.
Just killing nuns left and right.
She's like, I don't go down there.
Is
Yeah.
We don't know that she's
is
not
Giles
involved in this.
behind
It'd be the
me
same
I'm
thing.
gonna
now?
kill everybody.
since I ran on ahead when Giles went back
Yeah.
to pick up
Sure. Yeah.
Olivia?
Giles, maybe you shouldn't. Giles, maybe you should stay up here. I don't know if it's a good idea for you to go down there again, since you look like you're about to die.
Nah, I got this.
No, okay.
Honestly, I shouldn't help you, but I guess I will. But then like looks over, like after allows Giles to run in front, has already reloaded the blunderbuss, looks behind them at General Aberdeen and is like, just sort of a like just sort of a if he turns fucked up, make sure he doesn't kill us all sort of
Yeah.
sign
General
language.
Aberdeen just gives like a nod.
Neat.
She's prepared to do whatever
Yeah.
needs to be
And,
If he
done.
turns into like a fucking elder god, like
But we'll
I'm not gonna
need
be
the
the only
gold
fuck
he
who
was
dies
going to
from
get to
this.
send his
Yeah.
family
Yeah,
if the
oh
worst
God.
were to happen.
honestly, if you could give me the gold now,
We
we
could
can
give us the
settle-
gold now.
settle it right
yes.
now, and
Yes.
I'll
She
stay up here
says,
and watch it out.
I promise, when we settle up, you will have your reward."
What the fuck? Why did that sound so ominous?
Did sound ominous.
It's just how I roll, I guess.
Bigger fish, y'all.
Honestly, I was going to scrutinize that, but when you said it the way that you said it, I was into it. So if I have to kill you later, that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna head downstairs.
So you are heading downstairs, and remember, it's like pitch black down here.
Yeah, I'm probably
darkness.
gonna trip.
This is a nightmare.
As you come in, Mother Eloise stands up to stop you, but then sees like a group of witch hunters. Everybody's got weapons and just sits back down, and she says, "Oh, they don't know what's going on." Barbara, you're the first one down there. You don't have any light, but the witch hunters do, and they're coming behind you. The first thing that happens when you get down there is you can hear the whining of a dog.
Oh, puppy.
And as you come down the steps, you feel a wet nose bump your hand.
Oh, Anaya, good to meet you again.
And then like staying close to you, right,
Okay.
is this dog. The dog is close to you, and like tail between the legs, right, like the whole thing, very terrified, and is down there.
I'll look down at him and go, Mother Eloise is upstairs. She has treats, and point back up the stairs.
And the dog will barrel up the steps, pushing by witch hammer, like it's this winding staircase. The dog coming up.
I'm not gonna let
Um,
James kill a dog, you guys. I can't.
He would.
Oh, it's part of
Here,
our Minds and Veils, I think.
wouldn't-
No, I genuinely think that it's part of our lines and veils that we established
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, animal.
Oh, well, good. I'm ensuring that this puppy is no longer scared.
It's a good
I mean,
boy.
I appreciate it, and I'm gonna give you a fortune point because
Hey!
Hooray.
so
Cute.
so the
I'm gonna
dog
give you a
winds up.
fortune point for giving her a fortune point.
Wait, no.
Not like this.
as as you know, Witchhammer and your friends come down, Barbara. Witchhammer has the lanterns out, and they're like awed, right? This is the first time most of you, except for Giles and Barbara, have been inside this giant skeleton.
Oh shit! Yeah.
As you make your way down, and you see the altar that has that same statue that you've seen in the room that you just passed.
Do we have to roll for spookiness?
Yeah, do we have to roll resolve tests?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh. What do you mean yet? I don't want to do it ever.
Do the witch hunters seem disturbed by this, or are they just like
Yeah.
gritty?
They
Yeah,
are,
really fun.
yeah.
Even
they're
they're a
not
little
like,
spooked.
yeah,
They
they
spooked.
are.
Mm.
They're not looking good. Giles, sorry. How does it feel to be back?
I have returned with Giles' interpretation of an angel's request at his jailer, right? So like I feel pretty good. Are the candles still lit from before?
No, the
deserve a
candles
treat.
have burned down.
I'm gonna
um,
light some more candles.
No, I'm gonna stop you.
Oh, well, then I'll
How are
stop,
you
'cause my
doing that
friend
with
is
a
asking me
body
to-
in your hands?
I put the body down. It's where it needs to be now. I don't need to carry it
I'm
anymore.
gonna light the
I put
body.
my body down too, just in case you were talking to me, Diana.
When you get down here,
So many bodies.
once like everybody is down and in the skull, you hear the slamming of the door up top at the steps,
The dog
Oh,
betrayed
God.
us.
and you can hear the click of a lock.
That's what I thought.
Is there any sign of Anya or the
Ooh.
trash person anywhere?
Trash
Uh,
person.
Great question. No sign of Anya in the skull.
Any blood
Where you are.
stains in the vicinity or anything? New gross stuff?
No new blood stains.
Do-
in the
do I
vicinity.
smell
The
fresh
altar
death?
does have blood.
Ooh.
Good question. It smells like death down here.
Yeah, but I have a very
Refined palate.
Keen smeller.
refined dead
upsetting.
palate.
There might be a whiff, as if somewhere deep
CSI
within
Zweihander.
these
A
caves, a whiff,
Oh, what?
Nah.
somewhere deep within these caves, there might be some fresh death.
Don't hear any noise. No one moving around because it would be pretty echoey.
It would be pretty echoey. Right now, you do not hear anybody moving
Fuck.
around or anything like that.
So wait, what's the game plan? Let's stop for a sec. We're just gonna go kill the monster, right?
I don't know that we can kill the ghost of Niflheim. I don't.
I've punched a
we have that
ghost
option.
before.
The poet that you're carrying.
No, I
starts
put him
to
down.
laugh.
I didn't take him.
Starts
with
to
us.
laugh.
Oh,
I put
Alright.
him down upstairs.
oh, gotcha.
Oh,
Well,
I
then,
thought you said
revered
that.
mother Olivia starts to laugh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's rude.
You can't kill the muse.
Why would I want to kill them? Like, I've never. That is nuts.
Wait, what's written in this book then? And I'll start
Yeah, this is-
rifling through the pages I didn't rip out.
Do witch hunters generally know magic? I mean, or do they want to stop magic? How does a witch hunter
In
work?
general, they want to stop magic.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm sure
but
they know
are they
ways to
like
stop
the
magic.
Grey Wardens in that they're like or Witchers in that they like have
Yeah.
access to some magic?
Yeah. Do they use? I mean, maybe it's divine, the equivalent to
Not
divine
these-
magic
nope.
or something.
Looking at
Okay.
their stat blocks. They
Wow.
don't,
Wow.
they don't.
Cool. We brought some real
I was gonna
scrubs with
say,
us.
Yeah, we
This is
allied with
helpful.
the losers.
I will say that they have they've got swords and pistols.
Oh, so do we. That's
Ooh, can I have a
helpful.
pistol? I turned to
Oh.
the closest one to me.
No, I need it.
Ah.
Oh, I need it.
Well,
This
I'll
is
take
my
it off your
favorite.
dead
That's my
body. I mumble
grandmother's
underneath my
pistol.
voice.
Who are they? And I'll point to the witch hunters who I haven't met
Apologies.
yet.
These
I
were
told
the
you.
witch hunters we
This
told
is
you
them.
about.
We're here to kill
Oh,
this.
I'm
demon.
Barbara Sturgeon, the Barbara Surgeon.
Introductions all around.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
Giles.
Abe
Huh.
Vaughn Zira.
New guys?
Yes.
Names?
We're done though, right? We gave you your proof.
Well, you didn't give us everybody's name, so we don't need to give you everybody's name, do we?
Ooh,
Well,
like
it's the
sass.
Fulci.
Well, and you're a witch
Fulci.
hunter.
So it is the 3 witch hunters, right? Or is it
There's
more?
5
witch
of them.
hunters.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that Hale and Proctor weren't also witch hunters.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, your friends died. I forgot that. Okay, so there's 5.
Okay. Well,
Are they cute? Or...
Giles.
Sorry.
Pretty cute.
Focused.
They have the lights, right? They have
Yeah.
torches or whatever.
They have
So,
lanterns. Yeah.
Giles, which way was the thing?
Oh, like right here, man.
Oh,
Like
Well,
I
we
lit
should
these
at least try
candles.
to find Anya.
and the muse showed up. Also, I would like I'm gonna put revered Mother Olivia, as close to the altar. Like I'm gonna put her down with her
You-
back against the
all
set.
You
in.
just,
I
like-
love it.
It's like pouring food out into like a baby dish or something. It's just like,
So
what
you're
do you
putting her
think?
where?
Like as close to the altar as possible.
So when you move her towards the altar, you all now see this shadowy
Oh, I don't
figure
like that.
appear,
Yeah.
tall and statuesque,
Ooh.
with a mirror for a face
Hmm.
and wisps of shadow coming off them like flame.
General, what's the plan?
General.
The I need you all to make a resolve test.
All right,
now.
look.
Not
Is this-
you, Giles.
No. Oh, cool.
Is
yeah.
this
Oh.
for fear or terror or
No.
stress?
Yes.
Then I don't have to do shit.
There you go.
Uh,
come
okay.
Dang it.
How much fortune
That's
do we
fair.
have left? None. One.
It's
None?
also a resolve test at -20 for those of you who have
What
to make
the fuck?
Oh,
I'm
man,
sorry.
That's hard.
because it's super scary.
Does this count
Um,
as like intimidating?
Haha! I succeeded.
There you
I
go.
had 27 under
not.
35.
James, what the fuck? All right.
Haha! I
So
trained
I
in
will
resolve for
roll
some reason.
under 15.
Giles
Okay.
is like, great. Now I get to introduce all my friends to each other.
Nope,
I
don't love that.
absolutely failed. Which I
All right,
already
you
failed
take
this.
20 peril.
What
Oh
the
my
What?
gosh!
fuck?
as you
That's so much
see-
peril.
Okay, so I still
no.
only moved down
Oh
2.
no, what have we
so
done?
I think you're going to
Oh, no.
sleep. Someone's going to
I
sleep.
ignored 2 skill ranks.
Oh,
Which
man.
I think you only have 1 skill rank in most of your skills
Oh,
at
that's
this
right.
point.
We're
So
pretty-
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
this. Really
So
fuck
there you
you,
go.
Giles.
What's your peril, Barbara Sturgeon? What's your threshold?
right now well, so Barbara is
Immune.
Yeah, I'm
immune
indifferent. I don't give a shit.
because Barbara has seen some shit.
Oh, that's right.
So
I'm the one who knocks.
This is incredibly rude.
but this figure speaking in all of your minds now says, Giles, you have brought me what I asked for.
Yeah.
And says, what can I do for you? That which is within my power. As a reward.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna ask for something stupid.
Money.
A boat.
100 more wishes.
Ooh, classic.
Listen, I'm just really excited to introduce you to my friends and like let you out of your terrible jail because you're an awesome angel person. But it'd be really dope if I had some like more crossbow bolts. I haven't found any in town yet. I'm down to 4.
Hasn't used the crossbow once.
Twice.
Oh yeah, at the beginning.
You all hear Giles make this request.
Yeah, I don't know.
I throw a bomb at him. No, I'm just kidding.
Amazing.
Bring me that duck.
This figure says, it will be granted.
What are the witch hunters doing?
Yeah.
hearing
Witch
this?
hunters
Yeah, what the fuck
have
do we pay you
drawn their
for?
weapons and are pointing them, but they're shaking.
Oh my
they're all
God.
very scared.
What a bunch of
Are they
Um,
pointing them at
cowards.
Giles or the figure?
The figure.
Okay.
And Abe looks to you and she says, we're going to kill this, right?
Yeah, I kick one in the butt. Shoot him, I say.
Um,
Go on.
So they will all open fire.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
no.
And as they do, this thing is reaching down to touch revered mother Olivia.
Very strong.
And they like unleash hell, right? Like it's loud. There are balls that go off
Yeah.
everywhere,
Sorry.
and children.
That's the ultimate attack.
Yeah, when everybody's balls go off at once.
These nuts.
And this thing dissipates in a wisp of smoke. And revered Mother Olivia says to you, Giles, "You fool. You're all fools. As long as the statues exist, they come back. They always come back."
Oh, good. I was really afraid like we had like killed them.
Do we know what statues?
There's the statue of the skull and the statue upstairs that look like the chiseler.
Oh.
Is that what we're led to believe, James?
I mean, she says, "If you promise to let me go, I'll tell you where all of them are."
Why have you imprisoned
I'm gonna kind of eye the witch hunters, cross my
Mhm.
fingers behind my back where she can't see.
Mhm.
All right, what statues? This thing seems as angry with you as it is with us.
Make me a guile test.
Oh, god damn it!
All right, bitch.
I mean, I feel like the witch hunters could probably get it out of her if you guys.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
that's
honestly,
a fail.
let him eat the bitch.
Right.
Wait, no, I have a fortune. Just kidding.
Can I snatch a lantern from one of
That's a
them?
2. Suck it.
Nice.
Suck
Uh,
it.
She says, "One in the conclave that is surely burned by now.
Nice. Barbara, nice.
One upstairs. And one in Vauxhall."
Oh.
Oh, we'll just have to burn another house down. That's fine.
Yeah.
Kill her.
Uh,
I don't say
Aberdeen.
that.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm
Aberdeen.
scared.
It comes around and says thank you, and immediately, like, pulls out a sword and is going to do something if nobody stops her.
Smash.
Oh, could we at least try and find Anya first? She should be a part of this conversation since
Yeah,
murder.
That's super fair, and I'll just knock her unconscious.
Aberdeen will look and will say, "As long as the sinner gets what's coming eventually."
If you all
Less
have a lot
hot,
of
but still
energy,
hot.
you're welcome to take one of my bombs and go to Vauxhall and have fun.
The two of the witch hunters will nod and take your bomb and start to make their way up the steps.
The nameless ones or the named ones?
The nameless ones.
Nice.
The other two
They're
will
gonna blow
say,
themselves up.
Aberdeen will say, "Follow them, destroy the statue upstairs." Because there's
Oh,
also
cool.
a statue
Yeah.
No, there's-
in the temple.
All right, that's fine.
Please
Can I have a
wouldn't kill
lantern?
ya.
I say before they leave. Lanterns, leave lanterns.
Yeah, they'll give you a lantern.
Thanks. Let's go
Yeah.
find Anya.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just gonna start yelling, Anya, Anya, boy.
Are we taking what's her name with us, or are we leaving her here?
Revered Mother Olivia,
Yeah.
you tell me.
The general's staying down here
What do
too,
you-
right? So,
Yeah, General Abe is with you.
So
Yeah.
watch the mother while we find Anya. Yeah.
Really?
With pleasure.
Just
Do
Don't
I
kill
get
her?
the sense that Abe isn't going to kill her the instant? we
Yeah,
see her?
yeah.
I don't know. She
Whoa.
woke up and tripped onto my sword. Weird.
Abe is weirdly principled.
Honestly.
And so she has given you her word that you can find Anya first, and
yeah.
she will
It
not
doesn't
kill.
count if it's anal. Sorry.
Right. Weird loophole. It's a weird loophole, except that it's not a loophole. Not anymore.
Anya, where are you? Hello, are you dead?
Thank you, Rudy.
I don't
Yell
have to
back
roll
if
this
you're
body anymore.
alive.
So clearly not in the skull,
Okay.
and you can't hear anybody yelling back to you.
I'll go to some feeties.
Let's pick a leg, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will hide behind the more fighty types.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
That's also me.
I think I'm the only one who's not fighty.
And yet
I've
you're the one
loaded
who's
my-
committed
guns,
the
knives.
most murder.
Yeah. Since my blunderbuss does have shrapnel, I'll walk
yeah.
at the front
Yeah,
so that
that's a good
nobody's caught
call.
in the blast zone.
So you can see, right, the fossilized leg bones that are holding the ceiling aloft here.
Oh, I don't like that.
And there are stairs that wind up. It takes you
Oh.
several minutes to walk to the leg, right? As if you are walking across town to get there.
Wow.
And you see there's a round lip of stone that is jutting over the well. And there is also a groaning body that is hanging over this lip of stone that's like a well, basically. That there's this you can see the back half of a person groaning and laying in this well.
Do they look alive or are they zombos?
Hard to tell.
I shine
I
my
don't like
lantern
that.
closer.
All right, you still see a butt, which
Oh.
is that like it's just the back half of a person.
Does it look like
Oh.
the butt of my stepdaughter?
Yeah.
Hello.
Do they smell dead?
There is the smell of death.
Cool, very cool.
That's not helpful.
I'll go up and pull the front half out of the well and see who it is.
I don't mind catching Giles in my shrapnel, so I allow it.
Giles,
Weil. So,
We're
You-
probably gonna have to kill him anyway, right? Like,
Yeah,
pull back,
Giles.
and
we
this
should do
looks
it now
like
while we have good thoughts about him.
Iona Lucerna, a refugee who went
Oh.
missing, who
Ugh,
is
nobody.
definitely
Right.
a zombie.
Chopper.
As you pull them back, and attempts to bite you.
Oh no.
This is fine.
You can try.
Honestly, 2 birds, 1 stone.
They succeed.
I will,
shoot her!
I will dodge.
Go ahead, make a not a
parry.
dodge. You would
A
have
parry.
to
A parry. I will bury Alan.
Parry.
No, that's a huge freaking failure.
Oh no.
Okay. I
God,
will
he's
spend
so
a
powerful.
misfortune to turn this into a 6.
Oh no.
yeah.
Don't love that.
Sorry.
I'm
sorry.
All right. How much health you got left? How many levels?
Me? Let's find out. I am
What a
moderately
coincidence!
wounded.
That's exactly what he rolled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Moderately wounded. So
This is
that
not good.
is you take 15
Oh no.
as they
Okay.
bite. We'll say right into you.
Oh, I hate
Where does that put you?
So 15 is the number at my third threshold.
Your third.
So 3, 9, 15.
You are
Okay,
dead.
so you got to beat it,
Oh my god, are you dead?
not beat it.
Oh.
So
Oh,
okay.
just move you up
I'm
to you're
grievously
grievously
lucky.
wounded.
You are
Oh.
almost slain.
Oh, it goes to the defender.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, it goes player. Player.
Well,
against the
so there's
missiles.
also another thing you should know about Zweihander, which is you all have a fate.
Oh, that's right. It's
And
fate
you
points.
can fate points have a specific purpose, and that is to spend. You spend one when you are dead
Yeah.
to not be dead.
Yes.
So when you
Okay.
die, you can spend a fate point to change the story so that you don't die. Every character starts with 1, and
Oh.
sometimes you can gain more. The way you gain more is through not gaining a lot of corruption.
Yes.
Mm.
When you
Oops.
when you fill up your order,
Your
thing,
order
which
ranks.
takes at least 10 sessions.
At least 10 sessions.
And probably more than 10. On average, 15 sessions, I would assume.
So what do never mind, I'll ask you.
But the
back.
good news is it sounds like you're not dead anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you are, though, is injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you are though
Hooray!
is
Showing
fucked.
off all the parts of the system.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh,
This
You
is
should
table.
probably cut that off.
And you are suffering a grievous injury.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that's a grievous injury.
Because you are grievously wounded. So go ahead and roll me a D100.
Oh.
He's
Are
fine.
some of them you're dead also?
Some of them are. Yeah.
Okay, so
Surprise!
grievous
Oh, hey,
injury.
I
Head
rolled
falls
an
off.
11.
Okay,
I don't know.
you're not dead, so
Okay.
don't worry about that.
I've rolled an 11.
You're just mostly dead.
So here's a
critically wounded.
fun Zweihander fact while I'm looking up the table that I
Please.
I
need.
don't like the way you said that.
Is that this book is very big. However,
However,
the layout actually doesn't put a ton of words on the page, which was a fun thing that I found out. So it's actually still like half the size of the D&D core rules.
Oh,
because of that.
the
Aw,
type,
I love
and
Funky
it's easier
Boy.
for your grandparents to read too.
It's easier for your grandparents to read when you want to play some grim and perilous role playing with grandma.
There's
It's the
no
only,
large.
it's the only kind of role playing.
Large type
Alright.
My
RPG
grandma would
book
have
I
fed
can
that bitch
think
to the
of.
demon.
I do
is all I'm
dirty
saying.
fighting on that son of a bitch. He's blinded.
So as you pull this zombie back, they bite into your leg, and until recuperated, which means like once you've healed from the injury, you can't move as you're in pain because your leg is butchered.
Ugh.
You must
Ow.
undergo a successful surgery or suffer the consequences.
All right.
So basically, a giant chunk of your flesh comes out.
Oh, he's fine.
I've always wanted a peg leg to go with my eye. Can I throw them into the well now? Like,
Well, you see in the well a terrified Morrow Tweed at the bottom.
Oh, he's fine.
Not the tweed.
Oh, was it like chewing on him?
It
How
was
far down is
trying
the
to
well?
get to him.
Oh.
He's 10 feet
Oh.
down there in the well.
How far? It's 10 feet.
10 feet.
Hello, Morrow. Have
Do
you
I
seen
have
Anna? Have you seen Anya?
We got separated. This thing attacked us.
Okay. Well, did you see which hallway she went down?
No, we were in the
Oh, that's not
rib
helpful.
cage.
All right. Well, have a good time.
No,
wait, no, hold on. That's my CI.
You can see Abe goes over and is stabbing the zombie.
Oh, didn't we leave Abe with the
Oh, right.
this
Yeah.
was-
So anyway, this zombie's getting up
Oh,
now.
damn it.
Oh.
Do you want us to roll keep old initiative, or do you want us to roll new initiative?
No,
or-
no, you can. I am fine with whatever you want to do. It's one zombie, which is fairly easy to take care of, so I would be fine with you telling me.
Yeah,
Oh.
Giles.
I just keep stabbing it in its head until it
wanna-
stops moving.
All right.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I'll
you're-
come help
you're on the
punch.
ground.
This doesn't seem.
I love
This
the
doesn't
idea that
seem-
Giles is like stabbing in the background while everybody else is talking. to
Everyone's
Morrow.
like,
We're
"Oh,
just talking
Morrow,"
to
and I'm like,
Morrow.
"Get off my leg!"
I'll come help bludgeon with my knuckle
Fists.
dusters specifically.
You're a good boy,
Okay.
Professor.
Because
You're
I
a
don't
good
know that
boy.
blunderbuss. That would probably be
Yeah.
bad. And
It would be
I'm just
terrible.
gonna start like unfolding my surgical tools and like shaking out a handkerchief and laying it on the ground to catch the sinew. Like I'm excited now.
You're gonna
We
do
should
some
probably get
surgery
him
right
a-
here, right now. I
Barbara,
love it.
Barbara,
Do I have
in
rope?
case I die, I want you to know.
Oh my god, I don't care. And then
You're-
I'm gonna take
you're my
the
best friend.
platinum soaked rag I have and shove it in his face.
oh my goodness.
All right.
In their face, rather.
Okay.
I could even have my money.
So Laudanum is going to immediately move you one step positively up the damage condition track.
Nice.
It also gains you one corruption
Not
whenever
so
you take some
nice.
laudanum.
I'll
And
take a little whiff for myself.
oh yeah, just a little. And go ahead and make a heal
One
test.
for you and one for
I was gonna
Barbara's
make the same
third.
joke.
Now, Barbara, what you're doing here is probably like a quick and dirty.
Ooh.
I assume you're not doing like an hours long surgery.
Well, so here's the thing. You said that this looked like a chunk had been taken out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
gone.
Mm-hmm. Well,
How big a chunk?
Peg leg.
it looks like
What size steak would this be?
what
Ooh,
size steak would it
porterhouse.
be?
T-bone.
That's a great
Strip.
that's a great
Beef
question.
strip.
Probably a Kansas City strip.
Okay.
It's like a New York with a little more marbling.
What the fuck?
Is that true?
Delicious.
I
Yeah.
thought it was
So,
another
alright.
name.
Oh, they probably eat more corn. That makes sense.
It's also generally dry.
Oh, good call,
Do-
TJ.
Yeah, it's dry.
Guys, I'm in surgery. This is important.
Oh, sorry.
You're my best friend.
Stick
Sorry,
to
Do
it.
I get
hungry
the
all of a sudden?
do I get the sense that if I didn't just amputate it, that it would heal to a point where he could hobble around, or do I
You
feel
do,
like
yeah.
cutting it off is the right choice?
Take the leg.
He could get to a point where he could hobble around, but he'll probably need like a couple of weeks to recuperate. But you think you could get him up and going? He's not going to bleed to death, though.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna take a couple liberties with what I have on hand, and I feel like you'll find this appropriate, James. So I'm gonna sew up the wound pretty loosely, and then just take some of the maggots that I have on hand to eat infection away, and sort of grind those into the open flesh that's still there, and then just like loosely wrap a bandage around it so they don't fall off.
Little
Yeah.
Hello Kitty Band-Aid.
Yeah, a maggot band-aid.
Oh, that's cute.
Classic.
Yeah,
I
so
can't-
go ahead
I
and
can't
make
tell
a
you how many
heal
times I've done that
test.
in real life. Yeah.
And you know, maybe just to help balance the humors, I'll pull out a leech or two. Just, you know, it's always good to check in on one's humors. So
Yeah.
since we're
Leeching
here,
never hurt anybody. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
leeching's not gonna kill anybody. So yeah, I'll slap a leech or two on there, and
Certainly
then
not someone who's
we'll call
already
it.
lost a lot of blood.
As a person who has been,
I'm a monster, James. I don't-
Okay, but leeching's never killed anybody twice.
Fair. Fair. Go ahead, make a heal test. Fingers crossed for critical fail.
I
Yeah.
failed.
Ooh,
I
is it
rolled an 81, and I needed
Okay.
a 60.
a...
So
no.
sorry.
It's fine.
So you haven't made things worse, which is the good news.
That's on my Yelp review page like 50
because-
times.
Zweihander certainly does have rules for infection.
Whoa.
However, you're not able to you still are in too much pain to try to walk. But what you do have is a fairly well-dressed wound that you can feel maggots wriggling around in, and a leech sucking away on your knee or something.
It's fine.
I put it right in the center of his back so he can't remove it.
I'm sorry. I've been given laudanum. I don't feel shit.
That's true.
I have been given 1800s heroin.
He's
Alright.
having a
I
great
can, you know, you can do the whole put your arm over my shoulder and I'll, you know.
Yeah,
carry
that
you
works
around
for
or
sure.
hobble. We can hobble together.
You're my best friend.
Thanks.
Morrow Tweed is
Feels
like,
good.
Is someone going to help?
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
do you have
meantime,
rope or something?
I've tied my traveling clothes together.
Oh,
into a
okay.
rope.
Nice.
And he climbs out. He is filthy.
Oh, disgusting. Keep the clothes.
Oh, thank you.
Ugh.
Oh, we have to find Anya.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. We already wasted time with you, so it's kind of your fault.
And you, while this has been going on, the stairs that curl up here, smoke starts to come down them.
Oh, I know where this leads.
Is it fire smoke or is it like
Fire
spooky?
smoke.
Oh,
Is this
I
my
like
smoke?
that.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Oh, they found the statue.
is.
Oh, incredible. Unfortunately, wait, weren't we sealed down here?
From the other way, but I guess
They left that
hunters
way.
They
must
went
see
out
their
that
way
way.
out.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is another exit through Vauxhall, though.
We don't know
That's
that.
what's burning.
That's what's
We
burning
need
right
a-
now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this
Yeah.
was the.
We're at the
concave,
end of the
full
leg.
G.
We're below Vauxhall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait, didn't somebody lock us down here? But then I was like, oh wait, they may have gone through
Yeah, they
Vauxhall.
busted. Okay, so I guess we need to go to some handy bones.
All right.
Some fingies.
The plot bones
You
connected.
know,
to
little
the
fingies in there.
plot bone.
So when you go into the hand, where again you can see the fossilized hand reaching up,
Oh,
as you enter in, some of the loose dirt on the ground starts to move.
I drop you, Guile.
Oh.
Sorry. I drop you.
Yeah, it's all good.
And
He just takes a nap.
groaning out of
Here's
the
your crossbow.
ground is this humanoid figure
Ooh.
Oh, ew.
that
disgusting.
pushes up. And you see it's Anya,
Oh.
Oh, this is a relief, actually.
who is alive.
Oh.
Like actually alive or like
Actually alive.
Yeah.
And buried themselves in dirt to
Oh,
hide.
this is a
Ooh.
relief, actually. Great.
Like Predator.
And their eyes
Predator.
are wide.
You failed your
They
result test.
say,
how you doing?
we should have waited until we did the research to come down here.
I brought you a book.
Come with us if you want to live.
Are you having a nice time?
Do you want
Are you
Juice?
fucking
We should go.
kidding
We have a
me?
statue to blow up.
Sorry, I was
It's
just
so
you always
hanging
wanted a
up.
little bit of adventure in your life, and I was just thinking about like, oh, when are we gonna
Yeah,
go
you kept.
Mandalay
I
when she was
remember you
younger,
complaining about
and-
how boring being a constable in Swanzi is, and how you wish there was action. And I believe that was what you
I
said. to us at the
cannot
start.
wait to kick your ass
Oh
later,
boy!
Professor.
You know, honestly, I think I
And
would.
then I'm gonna kick
Oh,
your
boy.
ass, and then I'm gonna kick your
Fair.
ass, and I'm gonna kick. Well, not you. You look like you're in a real
He's
bad
about
way.
to die.
Hey,
Honestly, I'd still like to see it.
Hey. You're my best friend.
Aw.
Ew, disgusting. I'll shoot them both.
Do you know what is fucking down here?
Zombies.
Zombie.
Yeah, we tried to tell you.
No, not zombies. I'm not talking about zombies. I'm talking about mirror face,
Oh, the
shadow body.
Angel Ghost.
The demon thing. The
Angel
Swanzi.
We told you about
Swansea,
this,
the
didn't
Angel
we?
Ghost.
Yeah,
I-
we can
I
get
just
rid
don't
of it.
remember
We,
all
we
of
got it.
Daddy Swanzi.
Daddy Swansea, the Angel Ghost.
Come on,
It's done.
let's get out of here.
The witch
Okay.
hunters dealt with him. You know, the witch hunters that have been in town for a month.
I thought I had dealt with them too,
Oh,
and they came
Well,
back.
We
The
can
witch
get rid of him
hunters?
for good.
Wait, what witch hunter?
oh no. Oh, you shot him?
The demon? Yes.
Oh,
We should go.
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go discuss this at the full tankard over some full tankards.
Yeah.
Lead the way.
Okay.
I
Back
don't
to
like the way
oh,
she said that.
As you make your way back to the skull,
Oh, wow, this was easy.
No, why would you say that?
the
How do
first
we
thing
not
you
have a leg?
see is Abe
Mm.
lying on the ground,
mm.
a husk of what she once was.
Mm.
No longer a sexy
Yes.
Wednesday Adams. Now just
Damn
a
it.
just a Tuesday Adams.
How's Helen
Even
Mirren?
better.
So-
Even better. I loved it. Another fortune for James.
Has been brought it back.
It's not a Monday.
I made it work this time.
That's what we call full
Uh,
circle, baby.
You didn't realize the first one was a setup for the second one.
Hey,
Joke
Zing.
writing 101.
That's
I
some
take
good
back what I
writing.
said about
Totally-
your writing, James.
Totally drained.
Whoops.
Thank you.
Whoops.
And
That's what I say when I see.
next to Mother Olivia, who is also in a similar state.
Oh,
Who the
double
fuck is
oops.
going to pay us
Standing
now?
over both of them with wisps of shadow claw in their chest. But like not in wounds, right? Like just incorporeally inserted.
Oh, that
into
makes
their
more
chest,
sense. I was like, what the fuck?
Is the mirror-faced muse.
Mm.
Daddy.
Jesus, there's something wrong with you.
Blunderbuss.
And looks at you and says, "You all brought me the revered mother.
Yeah, we did.
This one
Jesus.
tried to kill me.
Well,
Don't know that person.
That one did too." And the
Misunderstood.
muse points at Anya. "Leave them, and you can go."
Oh.
Daddy, can we throw my buddy Anya onto our deal? Like,
Can I drug him again?
What does Anya think of this?
yeah.
Does
how's
not
Anya
want
feeling?
to die.
I mean, well, let's take a step back here.
Okay.
I mean, ghost, whatever, right? That's not my problem. Ghost of Swanzi, is it evil or I don't know.
Are Niphilims not angels?
No, they're
I don't
giants.
think this is a Niphilim.
This is the ghost of a Nephilim.
Oh, is it? I thought it was just like a random ass ghost.
Nephilim in this case are giants, not angels.
It claims to be the ghost of Swanzi, right?
Guys, it's been sucking the citizens of Swansea like olive pits. We have to kill it.
I mean, some of them consented.
Look at that. Barbara Sturgeon.
No, that
being
was
the voice
Diana,
of
that was a
reason.
Barbara.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, James, if I can, in my laudanum haze, try to negotiate for Anaya to
Anya.
Constable Das.
Naya Twain.
Thank you, Constable Das, to be part of my reward for bringing the revered mother Olivia down here. I would love to do that, and then we can all just leave.
While he's negotiating, can I sneak upstairs and start to set a charge to blow this statue?
That statue was destroyed already. So
Yeah,
The one
they're all-
directly upstairs? I thought the one in
Yeah.
the temple was the one they wanted me to get rid of.
Oh, so they said like on your way out, destroy
Yeah,
that temple
that
statue
one.
as well. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
all the
so th-
statues should be destroyed then, right?
They should be. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because you split. 5 came down. 2 of them went to Foxhall. The other
Two
2
to
went to the temple.
just-
I mean,
upstairs.
I would point out there is another statue in this room with the skull.
Oh, right.
Oh, then yeah, then I throw a bomb at that.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make your simple weapons test.
I will say that if anyone wants to stop me, you
No,
know
no, no.
exactly what I'm doing as I reach into my pocket for an explosive.
I just
Pocket
don't want to
hands.
be dead. So if you think it'll
That-
work, go for it.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna piss off Ghost.
Barbara,
Lady.
wait, I'm really high.
Don't.
That is a 44, which is a critical success.
Oh. So you hurl this thing before the muse even knows what's going on, right? Comes out. There is a scream as your bottle connects with this statue that immediately goes up in flame. And as it starts to burn, the muse, you can see this fire appears at the very the outskirts of their wispiness and closes in as this just psychic screaming fills the chamber, and they are slowly burned before your eyes.
Yeah,
As like the fire consumes them, you get a glimpse of who the muse once was, this tall, statuesque person that looks like the statues you have seen before, screaming and burning, and finally burns away as the statue falls over and breaks in the sand into a bunch of burning, smoldering pieces.
Well done, Barbara Sturgeon, the Barbara Surgeon. Hey.
That works.
High five.
That works.
Is that it then? Are we done now?
Seemed pretty
Anya
oily.
We just gotta get paid.
says, I think I need to read this book to figure it all out, but yeah, we're done.
Well, I hope you're proud of yourself, Anya. You've ruined another romance for me.
Is the general's
leave.
husk? The general husk still has like their clothes and their hat on and stuff.
Professor, let's check the
Yeah.
money.
Yes, that's
Professor's
correct.
like, I'm getting that fucking gun.
I'm getting the gun. I'm getting the gold.
Here,
I'm
drop
gonna-
me near that body so I can help you rifle through that.
Yes, let's.
I'm gonna sort of like trail after Black Eden, just sort of like aimlessly asking, like, wait, was that really everyone that we needed to? I'm very confused right now.
Realistically, everyone else will sort themselves out. Like, what could possibly eat them now? The thing's gone. Like, what's the problem?
All right.
James,
so we
is
can
there?
get lunch then?
Yeah, let's
It's
get
about
lunch.
noon now.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's the morning. The morning has ended.
It's 1 p.m.
James, is there like a significant piece of the statue's face, like a shattered piece of the statue's face that I could just pocket?
No, I slap your hand. No,
Um,
no, Giles.
Something to
no.
remember me by.
I've never been touched that way.
Daddy,
Mm.
please.
sure, but you do have the professor who slaps your hand.
Yeah, then it's fine. I go back to lying on the ground and rifling through bodies.
I'm not gonna take the gun or sword. I'm looking for a money pouch or. Like
There's
a
definitely a
coin
money
purse.
pouch.
Yeah, I want
for
the
I
coin
will
sure.
take the
purse.
gun.
No,
Guys,
no, no, no.
Anaya is watching you loot the corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She promised us gold. I say.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so there you find a pouch with 8 gold crowns.
Hell!
You do gain a corruption.
Only one?
Only one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do I gain a corruption? I'm gonna take the gun and the
Like a
purity.
really,
You-
like,
you
Just
gain
fucking
a
bargain, baby.
stash
So-
the gun so the other witch
Yeah.
hunters don't see you took her gun.
So Abe
I'm-
had a
I'm at
3-barreled pistol.
Ooh.
Special.
I feel like TK and I are at least tactful enough to go to the inn that is now empty and raid the room.
Oh,
that was
that's all
previously
you.
discussed.
Fair enough.
I
That
will
cloth.
say-
We can probably fence that cloth.
when you are making your way out, Mother Eloise says to you, "But Barbara, I think I owe you an apology. When you were down there, I thought that maybe I would go through revered Mother Olivia's things, and well, I found this." And she hands you a diary.
Ooh.
And the diary recounts everything that you know so far,
I
but
make her read it
also
to
I was gonna say.
explains what's up.
How does this
I make her
knowledge-
read it to me because I can't read.
Oh, right. And she says, "Well,
Incredible.
it says that the Fulci Collective was worshiping something called the Muse, and that when Hale and Proctor went missing, they started to abduct refugees they thought no one would miss and feed them to the Muse to make it more powerful so it could fight their enemies."
Oh, that's
That's
I mean,
pretty
it's
dark.
rude. It's not terrible.
Mother-
I mean,
Mother
bad,
Eloise,
horrible.
All those refugees who have been going
Oh
missing.
no, not the poor people.
I owe you an apology too.
Aristocrat.
For what?
I'll take her hand and put the coin purse back into it that I stole from her.
Did you pocket it from her?
Jesus.
Less the 2 gold crowns, which have been replaced with copper pieces.
Right.
Surrounded by bleeding hearts.
Remind me, is Mother Eloise hot?
Yoshi hot.
Sure. Yeah.
Who's
In
your
like
face?
a-
Like Wednesday Adams hot? Like
Yeah, Wednesday.
No, like
Sunday
on,
Adams.
on a scale of Wednesday Adams to Helen Mirren, where are we at?
Where are we?
she's like she's like a mom like a Laura Linney
Okay.
sort of hot.
All right,
What the
acceptable.
fuck?
Someone watched Ozarks recently, right? That's
Have
why.
you met my friend Black Eden?
Oh, I don't think we have really had a conversation before.
Oh, you can't afford me, but thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too.
That didn't
Are
work
you
how I
even?
planned, but
It's okay.
I only want the ones I can't have.
I'm still getting over Father Pierre.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Sorry.
He was evil too, by
Oh.
the way.
oh, I didn't think you were supposed to do that with the.
Church of the Martyr. They do
Oh
whatever
no,
they
we're not the the Godsworn.
You should
Not-
really update your wardrobe then, and I'll turn and follow.
Ooh.
Black Eden.
Wow, parting shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black Eden doesn't even turn around.
I
Just like
thought-
high
And you just
fives.
hear,
I
I
thought
thought I
Black
had
Eden had the
2
blunderbuss."
crowns in here.
I walk faster.
Oh, God works in mysterious ways.
Giles and the professor come limping up. I mean, the professor's not limping, but helping Giles limp. And so, I think what I'd like to know now, because we are at the end of our adventure, just like, how do things end up in the next couple of weeks for your character? Giles, you've got to stay here and recover for a little while. So let's start with you. After your recovery, what do you do?
I think Giles spends time recovering here in town. probably gets like a cane or a crutch so he can move around without the professor's assistance while he is recovering. And he will use his larceny and counterfeiting skills to maximize as much of the profit from the things that we loot from room 213, whatever else we get. If the professor wants to try to fence stolen goods, that's literally a special ability I have. Let's do it. But and then probably works on like, you know, the promotional stuff for the big fight that's coming up.
Oh, well, actually, having almost led Anya to her death, I'm gonna quietly, retract my challenge to take the belt of Swanzi, and then I'm just gonna move on to the next city. Well done, great adventure, everyone. I am rich with crossbow bolts, so I will move on to go fight some champion of a larger city.
As you exit the city, the Swansea, and you're headed to the city, you notice one curious thing, which is that a friendly duck seems to be following
Oh, hello.
Duck with Nick Cage's face.
you with Nick Cage's face.
Duck watch.
But his lips come out like a duck bill. It's very weird.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, what happens to Eden?
Black Eden takes up residence for a little while at the Full Tankard, kind of using it as like the new space where every time aristocrats are coming through on like business trips, Black Eden will like show them a good time and hook up with them and stuff, and then, you know, send letters to their wives asking for money and things like that later. You know, steal like their stationery and like send them a letter like a few weeks later being like, certainly hope your wife doesn't find out what you did in Swansea 2 weeks ago. Oh, that would be embarrassing, you know. Has to leave later when obviously Anya catches on and arrests them. It just like breaks out of the jail later. It just like leaves like a kiss and like see you next winter or something on like some stationery for Anya, like see you for the holidays, and like eventually
Amazing.
makes their way to the big city to pull the same scheme somewhere else.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what happens to Barbara?
Well, after several failed attempts to pull the same scheme as Black Eden when aristocrats come to town, Barbara Sturgeon, the barber surgeon, would return to her original love of hair cutting. You know, she'd open up a little shop in Swansea and offer discounted haircuts to all of the former members of the Fulci Collective, by way of apology for ruining their priceless art. And yeah, you know, everyone ends up very stylish, but not at all what they asked for when they go in Barbara's chair.
Nice. Nice. I definitely have had a barber like that. And of course, Anya makes sure that you are all rewarded as promised. And the story can continue for those of you who are interested in the story continuing when you play through this in the Zweihander core rulebook. There's an adventure, and this actually has characters and stuff that lead right into that. So yeah, so there you go. Exciting stuff.
Yay!
Thank you all for playing. Yay!
Sorry for blowing up the big boss fight, you guys.
No, don't be. That was great. That was awesome.
One of us was very close to death.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about.
We were out of fortune points. It would have been a disaster.
I had
that was
lots
my
of
last
misfortune
bomb
points.
too. It was very theatrical.
It was very theatrical. There was part of me that was like, oh. So if you critically fail with a bomb, you blow up. The bomb blows up while you are holding it. Is how that works.
Can't even
that's what
perform
that
surgery.
Love that for our healer.
Yeah, that's what that volatile descriptor means. So yeah.
Thank you for saving my leg.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. I should have been
no.
saving it better. I forgot that I have the professional trait Pliers, Scalpel, Bone Saw, where I automatically succeed at heal test to prepare bandages.
Oh.
So
There you
you
go.
know, maybe I was distracted
Can't
or
imagine by
just
what.
didn't
It's a lot
care.
going on. It was
It
like,
all
You
worked
really
out
made
in
me
the
mad.
end.
fucking Giles. Like
That's
sitting
great.
on the leg to like make the bandages for fucking Giles.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be in this
Exactly.
situation if it wasn't for you, Giles.
I do have a question.
Oh.
So the spoilers for the adventure, obviously. For anybody who who's like, oh, I want to run this adventure, but I don't want to know like every part of it.
Yeah.
So this ghost creature, who made the first statue? Like, did it make its own statues? And it was like a phylactery situation, or did other people make statues and then it came to inhabit those statues?
Those are petrified
Yeah.
Swanzi babies. is
So
what those are.
the muse already exists, right? Like the
Right.
spirit of them comes because Swanzi swears to like always stay in this area with their creation kind of as they're dying. Which I think is a detail I may not have mentioned now that I'm bringing it up. But and then the idea is the Fulci create the statues, which then act as a
Like an amplifier.
like an amplifier of the power that can keep them
Oh,
around.
okay.
If
I
we
was just wondering if there was like a sculptor who was only making statues of himself.
Oh,
They
right.
make little like commemorative Swanzies for all the tourists. that
Oh
come
my
through.
god, that's
That's right.
incredible.
That's right.
James, what would have happened if we had like found a way to like release the muse out into the world? Like be like, you're free, we love you.
So definitely the adventure accounts for that, right? That the muse is getting stronger because the muse for years has not eaten people and now has just started to. So you can essentially feed it a bunch of members of Witchhammer or the Fulci Collective and let it run amok in the town. And what happens is it eventually eats everybody in town, basically, is sort of
Nice.
how that
Which
works.
means that then it gets weak again
Yeah.
because there's nothing for it to eat.
Right, exactly. And the
Huh.
muse can also have the muse move on
Oh.
like into the afterlife if the muse kills revered Mother Olivia and the deal you make with it is for it to leave, it will leave.
Oh.
Instead
so-
of for crossbow bolts.
What if
instead of
we-
for
And
crossbow
your
bolts.
safety.
So
Crossbow bolts
I didn't
and
need
your
help.
safety.
I didn't
Well,
ask for
and-
this.
Anya's safety, kinda.
Yeah. Maybe on. Oh no, it's dead.
It was great.
So,
That
okay.
was awesome.
So like, if can you ask for anything like in return?
Oh yeah. Could we
What are
ask
the
for
limits
gold?
of its power? Is it a genie?
How many more
well, you
wishes?
broke-
So the
Did we
muse
get
only
the
has
crossbow bolts?
Yeah, the muse is basically a wraith, right? Like they're not a
Yeah.
god. So they can inspire you to create things. And so essentially the idea was if Giles was going to invoke that deal, Giles would learn how to make crossbow bolts, and that would be the fulfillment
What?
of that deal.
Oh, that's annoying. I was gonna say, what if we asked for 2 muses?
What
Feels
if I?
better when you
Yeah.
make it yourself.
What if
So
I
that's
asked
why
for
within
both?
my power, right?
Mm.
That's not within the muse's
Well, we don't know
power.
the parameters of your power, muse.
Sure. Muse is keeping it vague. Wants you to think they're a god, right?
Yeah.
Trick
When
What a
someone
joke.
asks you if you're a god.
That's
Yeah.
You
that's it.
deserve what you
Uh,
fucking
what-
get,
Yeah.
muse.
What would
Thank
have
you.
happened if we went to Anya and told her about Witchhammer being in town and killing 2 random people?
So I think so Anya, right? One of the strengths of the adventure is that Anya is the constable, but is only one person, and so would have asked for your help arresting Witchhammer.
Gotcha.
Because Anya is not a Witchhammer fan, and if they're murdering in town, like they don't get any quarter from Anya, right?
Gotcha.
And there are some members of Witchhammer who like, if you talk to them individually, are having reservations about like
killing
Oh,
people.
we killed this guy, and Abe says it's okay because they were sinners, but I think maybe they didn't actually know what was going on.
Now Abe's dead, and the other ones are free
Yeah.
to roam the countryside.
Correct.
What's going on with this creepy, abandoned-looking tower at the bottom?
I've been wondering the whole time.
Oh.
Surrounded by bats. What the fuck's
Which
up with this?
which map are we looking at?
The
city
Swanzi
map.
one.
Yeah,
Oh, the city map. Hang on.
the
Let
main
me-
city. It's
Yeah.
next
Well,
to
that's
some
the bat
pigs.
thing.
There's
Sanctuary?
there's like a creepy ass fucking
Like
ruined
dilapidated
tower.
tower
Yeah,
with, like, a
it
tree
looks
in it
pretty
or something?
spooky looking.
Some
Oh,
pigs
yeah.
are hanging out nearby.
Is that just
There's
for
some
fun?
bats.
So here's the deal. Kyle Latino is an amazing artist who just fills in the blanks.
Gotcha.
And so that may just
Oh.
be Kyle filling in the blanks. So another thing you should know about Kyle is loves drawing animals.
I remember
Which
all
is
that.
why
them.
those animals like wind up in all of the maps, right? That you
Yeah.
got those ducks, you've got
Because I was also going to ask about this little swamp hut up in the corner too.
That's where I live.
yeah, you can see I think there's a squirrel
Not
on
Barbara.
top of the
me.
on top of the boat.
What boat? Which boat?
So
The
the
boat
boat
we came in on.
yeah, in the boat map there's like a squirrel and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah, where's the
also
duck? Where's the
this
duck on
does
this
not
map?
appear in the adventure, but
Oh.
hang on, let me see. Just want to make sure this claim is correct. So this creature doesn't appear in the adventure, but there is a stat block for it because Kyle likes drawing yaks. So there is a were yak
Oh no.
stat
I love
block.
that.
I think because they needed an extra page in the stat block section. And so and it's been like a running joke in the art meetings and stuff preparing for this about were yaks. And so there's a were yak.
Yeah, it looks like in the River Basque there's like a giant alligator snapping turtle at the bottom,
Yep.
which is
Yeah.
very cute.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Morrow is a were yak.
So if you had finished the adventure really early for some reason, that was my go-to. Then was like, okay, well then now you're hunting a were yak.
Yeah, you think us the
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of fear of that after the
Swanzi?
first
Spend
5
15
minutes.
Lucky
minutes.
we
Is this
didn't try and
NPC
pull an art
hot?
heist. You're lucky.
Yeah. James, I have a question from a design perspective. When you wrote this adventure, first of all, an amazingly fun time, and
yeah,
it
Oh,
seems
good.
really big and sandboxy, and I know that's hard to design sometimes. What
especially
was
for
your-
a starter.
Yeah, what was your how long were you designing for? By which I mean, is this like a 4-hour adventure or 9-hour adventure? Like, what were your thought process on how long?
So it's about 12 hours, I think is what we say. So I cut it short, right, and I condensed some things and moved things along because we probably ended up for about 10 hours is what we took, which is, I think between 8 and 12 is how most groups will take it. But a lot of the design is there's a big adventure flow chart in there that says you start here and you find clues that could lead you to these places, and at each of these places there are clues that could lead you to these places, and here there's clues that could lead you back here if you miss that, right? It's that kind of
Love a
adventure
flow chart.
where
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, so
Every
basically
place is
prepping for
connected.
scenes and not for plot.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's a scenario. Here's what's happening, and here's how things might react to things you might take. But essentially, you should be able to get in there and adapt things. So, for instance, in that dungeon at the end, there is someone in the well, and there is someone who is buried, but they're actually different people than Anya and Morrow. But
Oh.
Anya and Morrow had gotten stuck down there.
Sure.
And it was like, am I really going to introduce new people at the 11th hour now? Probably
Mm.
not. So, it was easy to swap them in, right? For that.
Cool.
And how much of the adventure is box text and semicolons?
Great question. So,
What about M dashes? How many M dashes? I love 'em.
Pointed, hurtful.
I've heard a rumor that you hate semicolons more than you hate M dashes. Is
I
this true?
do hate semicolons more than I
I
hate
put
dashes.
semicolons
Who
all
hates
over my adventures. I
semicolons?
love a semicolon. What's wrong with you?
How can
I-
anyone
I-
be
How
more
many
than
crowns does it
indifferent
cost for
about
a carrot cake?
semicolons? Oh, carrot cake. I don't like carrot cake.
So
either,
anyway,
I'm
if
with
you audience are interested in the
Oh.
Kickstarter, go to kickstarter.zweihander.game
or Zweihander.kickstarter.game.
and
Links,
check it out.
links in chat. Links in
Yeah.
chat. Links
Do
in
it, I
chat.
dare you.
Yeah.
Do it.
Double dog dare you.
It is it was a joy to work on this. I could talk for days about how there isn't box text but actually descriptive bullet points in boxes.
Classic.
Ooh. To make it easier to parse and separate the details here. But I won't.
accessible.
But I won't.
Boxes of bullets.
And I will tell you that any semicolons or M dashes you find were added by Daniel Fox. But in the meantime,
Wow.
Keep up the good fight, Daniel.
At Daniel on Twitter.
but
in the
in the
comments.
meantime, where can people find you all on the internet? Let us start with you, Rudy Basso.
Oh, hey, you can follow me on Twitter at Rudy Basso. You can, that's over. You can go to damesanddragons.com and enjoy the podcast I produce about teenage heroes trying to save the world, which is not an easy feat.
That's right. Rudy, you are the mom, right?
I am the mom, manager of management, as not a title I chose, but one I have embraced. I'd like
One
to
that
say
was
producer,
bestowed upon
but
you.
mom works
Yeah.
too. So, thank you, James. This was a delight.
Thank you. I had a blast playing with all of you. This was really, really fun. So, TK, where can people find you?
It's me. It's TK. I worked out earlier today, and I'm just feeling myself on the camera right now.
Oh my goodness!
I'm feeling great.
Guns. There's
Yeah, I
another
know.
blunderbuss on screen right now.
I'm
Oh,
starting to get a line in my biceps now.
That's
Anyway,
very exciting.
blunderbuss. That's funny. Yeah, it's me. It's TK. I write spooky stories. I put them on the internet. If you like spooky stories, you can read them on my Twitter, TK Joins the Fray, or you can go to my website, tkjwrites.com. I am starting to do this thing where I'm going to be putting videos and voiceover of some of my spooky excerpts on TikTok. Haven't started doing it yet, but I'm in the middle of the video and audio editing process. So we'll see whether or not I keep that up or if I forget about it mid-year.
Excellent. And where can people find you, Diana?
Oh, hey, hi. So by the time this airs, you can catch on my channel, Bard and Barbarian. Will be knee deep in our Call of Cthulhu adventure, Bolt and Rampart, which is inspired by the Lock and Key series from Joe Hill. That 4-part adventure is supporting Jasper's Game Day. And yeah, there are cool keys and lots of eldritch horrors, and they won't survive without help from the viewers. So stop on by, donate some money to a good cause, and help me ruin their lives. Also gearing up for Renegade Con and some cool announcements there regarding vampires, then to all things World of Darkness. And I think that's it for right now, for this moment in time.
Excellent. And Sean, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me online at Sean Banerjee on most platforms, including Twitter, or SeanBanerjee.com for all my links. And I will be, by the time this comes out, March 1st and 8th, I'll be playing with Ghostlight RPG to raise some money for Jaspers. So go over to their Twitch and watch that as well.
And I'm James Introcaso. I wrote this thing, and you can follow me on Twitter at James Introcaso, but mostly go to Zweihander.kickstarter.game or kickstarter.zweihander.game and go check this out. The Kickstarter is doing gangbusters, has done over 500% probably, unless something drastic has happened. And knock on wood. And this was a blast playing with you all. It was a real privilege and a lot of fun, and I really, really looked forward to it. So thank you all. And thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.